unfortunately.
We had to go to the emergency room today, but
No COVID or something.
We thought it wasn't the problem, so now she's got to go follow up with other specialists. So.
Yeah, hope they find what it is and they can kind of help her. Yep.
She just she got a lot of pain right at the moment, but kind of like internal. Like we thought it was her kidney, like a kidney infection, but it's just something in her back.
Yeah, you can have like small kidney stones, and there's a million things that can be.
They have initial, but she got to see a specialist. But she doesn't want to. When she says it hurts, I'm like, well, I have some pain medicine left over from my knee.
Yeah, some really good.
Try one, yeah, but she didn't want to do that.
She doesn't want to sit and smile all evening and then be. Yeah.
I mean, I would never let her take more than one or whatever. She would never want to anyway. But when you're in pain and you can't sleep or something, then that's the time.
Yeah, you need to. Yep.
Yep. So I got a mess here. Oh, you know what? Unfortunately, I've already wrapped the tongue tool.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh.
Go on the mic.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm touching up my ig build right up here, so I'm.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Yep. Oh, it comes with instructions and stuff?
Yeah, it's got the features. Features.
Yeah, that looks just like the weapon descriptions in our soldier's manual or something. It's like, yeah.
Here's all the features of the item.
Yeah, exactly.
You notice all the specific things I put on there.
Yep.
Hey, Wandering, can you hear me?
So
I got Anna and Tim. Can you hear me? Just making sure that we got sound.
Yep.
All right. Woohoo!
Good. Yep.
That's awesome. Always a good thing. Excellent.
I'm like in the process of covering my customized box that it's going to go in.
Nice.
Yeah, just for shipping, but I want it to look cool.
Of course you do.
I'm going to go and make my rounds, throw food at my son, and
I'll see you in a couple minutes, man.
Yep.
Bum. Whew. I think this is going to be a real fun discussion tonight. Just because a lot of people haven't looked at these two products before. So I think that'll be good. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Getting out some last second shout outs on Discords. Alrighty. What's up, Nagul? Good to see you. It is early, of course, but that's okay. It's a Sunday. Lovely day today. It was one of the nicest days of the year today. Really nice out.
Yeah, it's wonderful here too.
Always a good thing. Got a nice walk in, which was good.
I've been lazy. I've barely been outside today, and it's bad. But we will have more sunny days. But I should definitely, tomorrow will be a day out to do stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Oh, it rained there? Oh, here was clear. It was beautiful today. Beautiful day. Good to see you. Enoch, Wandering, Nicole. Good to see you guys. Woo! I think I got everything. I think I got the giveaway set up. Hey, Godfather, good to see you, man. Cool. Fun discussion tonight. I never see. Normally, I test them ahead of time. I didn't test my shout-outs, so I better now. All right, good. Works. Let's try this one. Oh, that's a good sign. I've been hounding Anna. This last from Friday on, I was hounding all the sponsors. Guys, can you give me some new ads, please? Like, I want some new vids.
Yep.
What's up, Dale? Dale, did you play one of these? Hey, Cal Steph, good to see you. There's a lot. There's a lot going on, man, on on Twitter. Did either Ellendar or Dark Tower? Have you played either one of these? Hey, Gargamont's coming over the raid. Thanks, man. Oh, good. There you go. They're both really cool, and you know, Ellendar's gotten Dark Tower's gotten a lot more notoriety than Ellendar, but Ellendar is good, and it's just awesome. Barely. That's funny. Hey, Skarshek, good to see you. Oh, evil. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna use them on my guys. I'm going to use them on the Slav Squad squad. All right, on Saturday night coming up. This is a big week. How's that sound? How's that get you? Oh, that'll get them good. Look at that. You just made me have an evil grin laugh too. Thank you. And now who's calling me at this time? Hey John, I'm live, man. Good. I'm live right now. It's all right, man. We're on Prelude still. Yeah. I'll talk to you soon, man. That was John at Blue Box.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he understands what you meant when you said you were live. So, yep.
What am I hitting next? Hitting this. Yeah, that's pretty funny, isn't it? They finished late, but not. We didn't go on early enough so that they could raid right into us. That kind of didn't make sense. But so I'm trying to get to somewhere here. Hopefully, I don't open one. If I open up one too many screens, everyone, and I crash, you'll know why. But I'm trying to get to something here. There we go. I'm there now. Awesome. Very cool. I found something. A friend, known for a long time, linked me something really cool. So, thank you, Obsidian, for linking that. Thank you, Cal Staff on Twitter, for linking to the thing tonight. I really appreciate it from both of you. But like, what's up with Twitter today? I mean, there's like fighting going on about that one guy has Dragonlance and Greyhawk, which is better. I mean, I don't want to go there, but I had to because some guy's like, I'm so disappointed in Greyhawk. It's unfinished. I'm like, what? Thanks, Patrick. You hype trained this up. I was like, this is ridiculous. But I guess that's Twitter. What do you expect, right? So. Thank you, Patrick. There we go. Look at that. We're already at level 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Apparently, hit us up good. Hey, George. Good to see you. Yeah, okay, it's Greyhawk all the way. I mean, I think I put my... Oh, Painterly Git. Wow, that was really kind. All right. Yes, it was. Yeah, JJ, Janelle Jackways. I apologize ahead of time. Mine says Paul on it, but that's okay.
It was old, so to
Yes.
speak. That was back in the day. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I met Janelle, and she had a wonderful presentation at GaryCon a few years ago. And
Yeah,
all the fun stuff. So, yeah.
It's apparently. Thank you.
And she's also one of these multi-talented. She can write.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'd love to have her on the stream.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get her on. Yep.
I'm going
Yep.
live right now because we're right in the middle of all these. Let me hit this up here. There we go. All the subs from apparently Get. So tonight, Tim's wife's under the weather, so Tim is being nursed. So just note he's going to be bouncing back and forth. You got Anna Meyer, myself, and the ever mysterious Tim. We're going to talk these tonight.
I'm just a crutch tonight.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. You're not on this. It's going to be a fun discussion.
Yeah.
And apparently, thank you for all the support, Patrick as well, and Tiborius, thank you. Look at that. Pop us over level 3, and someone pop us over level 3, and I'll double the giveaway tonight. We'll do 2 instead of 1. All right. So if that happens, so tonight, this is the second week of deep dives. So I'm really excited about this. It's just last week I thought was awesome. The Hamlet and Temple of Elemental Evil, we had some really good discussion, but I think we'll have some good discussion here. And a return to, look at that, and that return to Dark Tower. That's not even the Dark Tower from Goodman Games. There's so many of them. There's so many of them rolling there. There we go. All right, so we're so close. Get over that level 3, and no, that's not. Goodman Games has another one too. So, all right. So some quickie announcements while we're waiting for Tim. Sound good? Man, look at that. Put us over that. So 2 giveaways tonight. Sound. I'm gonna hit the wrong button. All right. So, if you don't know, the week it's a 4 stream week. We have some great things coming up. Wednesday night is Gods and Powers of the Underdark. Okay, so talk about some gods. Talk about like the gods, Deep Dura, stuff I don't know about. Mike, it was Mike's idea, so I'm like, all right, let's run with it. I added powers in, so we can talk about a Clavdra and all the other things, you know. So, and I can fight about a Clavdra for another half hour, like we always do.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yep.
And then, yes.
Give me a reason to dig into. Yeah.
And then we can.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Anna. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've just done an Igval deep dive, so to speak. I'm almost done with it. So that's yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
That's cool. And then I don't know if we'll finish this or not, but it's a Miniature Building Authority $75-$25 gift certificate night. It's a quarterly, so on Thursday. So the Vestra and the Helm of Selnor. I killed an NPC, if you didn't see Thursday night, with a Phantasmal Killer spell, which was freaking awesome. I have not done that in ages, and the guy had 9 intelligence. Alan's barbarian, and then Saturday night is the Slav Squad with Utea May cosplay joining the cast, and now they got 3 specials against them already from Painterly Git. That's exciting, and then lastly, but not leastly, a week from tonight we have this monster stream where we have Ed Greenwood, Jim Ward, and Jeff Grubb all on the same show. So it's going to be such a thank you. Apparently, get very kind of you tonight. I'm excited about that. But so this is a monster week, and then I think we're gonna have my son graduates a week from Wednesday. So we're gonna have to do Legends of Lore again on Monday next week, the week after next. So it's like boom, boom, boom on streams coming up. So just wanted to share that with everyone while Tim's not here, because it technically isn't even 7 o'clock yet. But that's what's coming up. So we got a lot of great content coming, and it's going to be wonderful. Did you all see? If you're not Patreon, I guess you didn't see it. But did you see Alyssa's post?
I haven't read it in detail. I've saw the post, but I haven't watched the videos yet.
Neither have I. Neither have I. Been too busy with family stuff this weekend. But yeah, Alyssa started her first town. What's it? Wamtham, yes.
Yep,
started
Wamtham in Nyrond. Yep.
In Nyrond. Started that up, which is really cool. And that's exciting. And
we have to welcome her into the Greyhawk community.
Absolutely.
Now when she's working on stuff. That's awesome.
I think it's going to make the Fantasy Mapping Show even that more interesting for the Greyhawk community. So that's a really good thing. I found a map so quick story. I told this to Tim. I have such great details on these two adventures because I've loved them so much, and plus you have to convert them, really, especially Fortress Ellendar. You have to convert it. I got all these notes. Do you ever have this happen to you, audience or Anna? You are doing something and you're looking for something and you come across something else. And then you're like, I know I have it. And then you need that thing and you can't find it. I can't find my notes on Dark Tower, which pisses me off because I had some great notes on Dark Tower. It's all my, in my photocopied copy of it, not this copy of it.
You know what I used to, now I'm going to do a shameless plug, and I'm not being sponsored when I say this, but that's what I use Evernote for. Okay. It's a tool that it's a free, it's one of these digital tools where you can grab things from the web, you can stuff documents, whatever you want in there. They even OCR text in pictures and stuff. So when I find something interesting on the internet, even if it's not something I need for the moment, some blog post or whatever, I just save it in my Greyhawk research folder, tag it, and forget about it. And then I can search it, or I can search for tags, and retrieve that information with the links to where it comes from. And that way, that have saved me so many times when I want stuff, so to speak. So, and you don't have to pick Evernote, but that's something where a cool digital information tool can be really useful. And there are plenty. OneNote, Evernote, whatever. There's plenty. And if you want to use modern digital tools, you can kind of take a picture of it if it's a piece of paper and just stuff it there, and then you can much easier retrieve it.
That would be great, but these notes are from the 80s.
I have noticed from the 80s. That's what I took. Before I used my DSLR cameras, took pictures of them and stuffed that in Evernote.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did. I've taken everything, all my old notes, and now you have a smartphone. I just take a picture of it, and when we had adventures and I drew on my tactiles, I put a picture of that and stuffed it in Evernote.
Very cool.
As a note. Yeah.
I look at it as I've always done it this way, which is not the best way in the world. But so
if it functions for you, it is the best.
It does, except now I can't find my Dark Tower notes, so that's bad. But I'm waiting for Tim. I found stuff that I didn't even realize I had, including something of Tim's that is priceless. Also, I found a map of a Greyhawk city that I didn't even know existed. That I have, and I don't know how I got it. It must have been in a dungeon or a Dragon magazine. Everyone knows Diamond Lake. There's a Diamond Lake one and from the Age of Worms, but I have another one. Should I share that now? Because Tim won't care about that.
Oh, please do. Can never go wrong with
Could someone please tell me where this comes from?
Oh, Alhastar. That is from that map is reproduced in several places. It's in the Age of Worms, and it's in Dragon magazine when they talk about Age of Worms and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, so it's out of one of the dungeons.
Yeah, it's either one of the dungeons, and they also had extra. I think it's one of the dungeons, and they had that the map was reproduced in several different versions and in sizes, because they had companion articles in Dragon magazine at the time too, that talked about the setting and Alhastar. So that map is done in several different versions. I've seen, and I've seen fan creation versions that are really good too.
Yeah, I don't know who did this. I would love to know
It's
who.
it's at that time. I forgot who did those.
2006. It looks like.
Mhm. Yep.
So
It's
I'm
the
not sure.
Age of Worm era Paizo
Yeah.
Hawk.
Okay. Well,
Is it Dieter Lissi? Maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah.
It's not. There's no names on this. Hey, Dad, Sky, good to see you. But yeah.
Well, it's you see, it's Greyhawk and it's maps. I keep an
Yeah.
eye on that. That's my when we get into modules and other things about Greyhawk, my recollection of stuff is kind of outside of my expertise, but this is my expertise. So I usually know where I can see maps and stuff. So that's where it comes from. Yeah.
I did forget one hard copy thing, and that's showing below me that relates to this, and that's that Dungeon Magazine, the 30 greatest of all time. So note that I do have that in PDF. All right, so tonight, last week we went over my favorite adventure of all time, Temple of Until Evil, with Hamlet, and just talked about how to incorporate it in the Greyhawk campaign. Throwing up our wall of fame here, up on the wall, there are other adventures, of course. Tim will be here any second. He's tending to his family.
But I think this is a really important discussion because last time we had with the Temple of Elemental Evil, we had classic Greyhawk. We had an adventure path that was firmly set in Greyhawk and how you can adapt it and put it in your game. This will be an interesting contrary to that because now it's something that is not designed originally to be set in Greyhawk. So it will be kind of cool to see how you adopted it into your campaign, so to speak.
So if you look at this wall of fame, every adventure up here, with the exception of Return of the Eight, is first edition. Okay, or another edition. So Return of the Eight's the only one that's the 2E era. Everything else, I believe, is 1E era, and it's just a wall of fame for my personal campaign. Well, we do kind of have that, Sparky. Gary Julian made a joke one.
Yes, he made
He's
one with
made multiple joke ones. It's really funny. And if I don't,
you should have a show about them.
We could do that. We could do that, definitely. So now tonight we're going to talk about these two: Fortress Ellendar and Dark Tower. Fortress Ellendar is from 1979. This is actually a sealed copy. Okay, and then Dark Tower is from 1980. Now this is the one that Goodman Games is re-releasing in 5e, coming out. But this is an original of it. You know, it's falling apart. You know, it's got the staples falling out and everything because it got good use. I'm going to be bluntly honest. This is sealed because I don't remember where I did this. I think I did it at the library or something back in the days of copiers weren't readily available. Veil of the Mage is askew. Yeah, Veil of the Mage is Rick is not up there. But I copied this from Tim's original. So here's my photocopied one with all my notes in it. So I did find Fortress Ellendar, but I did not find my Dark Tower notes. So we're going to talk about those two. But if you look at this, we went from Hamlet, which is like the ultimate sandbox for D&D, for Greyhawk, to Temple of Elemental Evil. Thank you, Blue, which is a really nice adventure that I love. I don't use all of it because I can't stand the nodes, but I kind of ignore that. Now, I figured the week before the big Wizards 3 discussion with Ed Greenwood and Jeff Grubb and Jim Ward, I figured let's go off the beaten path. And I know Tim was available tonight. Let's do two classics that Tim introduced me to both these, Fortress Ellendar and Dark Tower, so that I can say, you don't need just to use published source modules to create your campaign in. We kind of had a discussion on that a while ago, but we'll kick it off and we'll go into detail as Tim gets here. But where do we start? Let's start with the one that you probably don't know a lot about, and that's the Fortress Ellendar, that one. So Hamlet set the stage for how Paizo's Adventure Pass would run with the first adventure in the series. That's true. I mean, look what they did with Diamond Lake there, Rick, for you know, they set the whole campaign area. Yep. Yeah,
it's kind of the original first adventure path in a way that they did. So yeah,
with not a lot of content between first level and fourth or fifth, you had to extrapolate that yourself. And
it was the first. But it was also when they put together it was years in between, and they were not really written to be together, but at least that geographically together. So.
Hey, Mike, good to see you.
So what kind of adventure is this?
That's a good question. So let's go to the wonders.
Hamlet was a sandbox. Is this a sandbox?
No, not at all. we're gonna go here. Here we are in our Jay's adventure log, and oh, thank you for doing that, Wandering. This is in the early days, as you can see. We got some really big things on here. Some you may know, like Tomb of Lizard King. Some of these you may know as dungeon adventures, like the Plate of Syria, the Wounded Worms, another one. Patriots of Ulick, but that's on here. Man, you know what? That may not be the original Patriots of Ulick. I may have just called it that. I'm not sure. So Ruins and Old Dares on here, Anna. That's on your map in the Sis Forest. Early dungeon adventures. So, but if you come up here, I run this twice. I ran Fortress Ellendar twice. I ran for different groups, and I ran Dark Tower once. So here's the first Fortress Ellendar, number 118. Like I said, we're on 957 right now. That just shows you back in time. Now, if we go to this in the 180s here, I reran this at 186, but I added in, I want to talk about this, From the Ashes. As you can see, Patriots of Ulick 2 was right after that one. Oh my gosh. So I noticed a couple of these. I found so much stuff when I was searching, which is really, we'll discuss some of it. Verbeegs the Gnarly Forest, that's a adventure card a lot of people know about. Sunken Temple is another one, if I recall correctly. So there's some cool stuff on here in addition. Forgotten Temple of Tharsden and Shokanth, I ran them together with another group. So this second time I ran it was 186. So I didn't run Dark Tower until much later. Listen to this. 217 I run Dark Tower. So this is as you can see, some other ones. Chagmat Out of a Dragon here. Swamplight, we've given that away recently. Garden of Pharaons, that's a Dragon magazine one. Dark Clouds Gathers on here. Halls of Bael'Dur, that's from White Dwarf. Yeah, so I've run a couple others, and actually some Slave Lord adventures up here too. Here's a question: if you have the stream like we ran adventures, man, I don't know. Did I put that in discussion there, Rick? I'd have to check. Does anyone? Here's a trivia question: adventure number 202. Return to Sayre CD. Where are they returning? Trivia question for the audience.
And
where is Sayre CD?
I need to.
I believe they did, Cardman, in that one. Yeah, incorrect. So I thought Dale would get it or someone else, but that's okay. So Sayre CD, Wisconsin. That's funny. And if Sayre CD is one of the alternate realms off in Q1. Sayre CD, Dale.
Yeah, it's mentioned. I have it 16 times in my Evernote database. So yeah.
Q1, yes, yes. This is Return to Sayre CD. Yep, Q1. So yeah, you stepped away. So I did a Return to Sayre CD one. With the cowardly dwarves and the evil elves. Yeah, and that was
mentioned in Roger E. Moore's Gates article.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great adventure that was. So, Dark Tower is number 217, and note the following too. Dark Tower is 217. This 218, the Advances of Evil, that is my From the Ashes implementation. That adventure. So there you go. So right after Dark Tower, we went through a mega adventure. Then I did that, setting it up. So I said in my timeline, I delayed the From the Ashes happening. Oh, okay. Well, I can take a look, man. I can get it out, and I can do that. That's not a problem. I can do that for you. All right. So in specific, you have two really great adventures here. Now you notice there's all sorts of other adventures in there. Some homebrew, some. I'm glad I did that log. Some of them I ran multiple times for different groups. Some of them I just rerun because we were lazy and we needed a low-level adventure. Right? It happens as a DM. Things happen like that. And have you ever run the same DM adventure twice?
No, not really. But what I've done is that I've used the same location many times over. And that is usually what I do. I develop an area and then I keep using it back and forth as the story progresses, so to speak, so it's a sandbox. So I often go back to the same area, because otherwise it will be completely ridiculous to prep as much as I do and only use it once. So I almost always use locations multiple times over, so to speak, and often I think there's a purpose with it. It's kind of fun to go back to a location you've been to 5 years ago, 1 year, 10 years ago, and then rediscover it again, so to speak. I think that can be a lot of fun.
And it helps with nostalgia if you have your same group of players too.
Yep.
Just wow, I remember this about this place. I remember, this. I remember this happening there. And that's even if it's not the same adventure. Hence the setting for, a city setting like Altamira. Yeah. Curtis, Dark Clouds Gather. Yeah. Those flying were guys or whatever. It was an interesting one. But
and I often use locations from modules and then kind of and parts of a story and NPCs and stuff, and then weave it into my overall arcing story for the campaign, so to speak.
And that's a good thing too. Utilize the information you have. All right. Tim will catch up. So I'm going to show you a lot of stuff. Now, this is hard to get a hold of. I saw one of these was available for like $50 on eBay. So this is called High Fantasy. Adventures in High Fantasy this is created by Jeffrey C. Dillo. And you're like, well, who's that? Well, it's a guy. He lived in Jersey in the Princeton area. And he made his own setting up, a system up in the late 70s, early 80s. Kind of like what Judges Guild did, right? Third party. And he had some publications and some adventures here. And this is, I think, I have the entire collection except for the original Adventures in High Fantasy rule book. So I have all the other stuff. So we got Fortress Ellendar. We have this adventure, which I've never run. Morgard. That looks pretty, it's some kind of demon on the front. So that's got to be nasty. Morgard. And then we actually have a town setting. He did Goldchester. I think this is his last book. And then we have other adventures, including Morgard's in this one too, Adventures in High Fantasy. So if you want to know who Jeffrey Dillo is, my buddy Andy, who I used to work with Electronics Boutique 30-some years ago, gave me this a link, and it's www.highfantasybooks.com, and this will tell you a little bit about him, Jeffrey Dillo, and 10 things you need to know about the author. It's pretty neat to discuss, to talk about some things about him, but he talks about what he did here with this setting and games, and so it goes on and has some different parts of discussions on it. But it's an interesting read if anyone is interested in knowing about him. I may in the future, if he's still alive, I've been told, get him on a chat show sometime in the future. So just note he does have a site for all this. Okay, just wanted to share that with everyone. So Josh, I got some semi-bad news for you. I already got three special hero points for Saturday night, courtesy of someone in chat from the chair tonight. So that'll be fun. The Fortress Ellendar. One of those days in the early 80s, I'm playing Gazumba and Hawk, two of my favorite characters, and Tim is DMing. Walt's playing. He goes, I have this adventure for you guys. Spacker Leaps Doom, exactly. I have this adventure. I think you're going to like it. I'm like, okay, we'll play it. It was iconic to me. Hey, darling. Really iconic to me. And also, it was memorable because it had things that were different. You know how it is old school D&Ders. They know every single magic item. They know every single monster, right, Anna? They
Mhm.
know every little trick of the spells, even though we can't remember how long a prayer spell lasts. So to come up with something even back then different was really cool. And it has a real cool catch in it. And that was something that I liked, and it was challenging, and it has some unbelievably unique magic items that you may hear us talking about to this day on our adventures. And I re-give some of them out. I'll give you one that you probably heard of. The Shield of Prey comes from this adventure. Something called Prometheus Clay comes from this adventure as well. So some really neat things. Yeah, it's been a great weekend, darling, so far. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Really good. So let me flip over back. I'm going to be going back and forth over here a lot. Tim hasn't texted me, so nothing bad's happening now. Okay. So the gist of the adventure is this. And first time I ran it, I just plainly ran it. But the second time I ran it, and that was that Shieldlands campaign, I created an entire little mini campaign set. This Fortress Ellendar is placed on the map. Here we go. It is on the map, Anna.
Now I have to double check because I think it's on your edition of the map.
Yeah, just mine. Just mine.
Yeah.
Just mine.
I'm going to double check because it is kind of cool. So
it's out of the way too.
Yeah. So after this might be so good that we might want to put it on the public version of the map too. So we'll see. Yeah.
We combine this with a two-parter. This is one of those, we all did this when we were kids, just like, on Stranger Things or whatever. You play all weekend. This is a whole weekend event.
Yeah.
I tie it in with this event.
Oh.
A battle system event.
Okay.
But I think we went one step further. I had just received, if I recall this one the second time correctly, I just got these. I just got the miniatures and skirmish rules. The brand new books, the second edition ones. So I was excited. So we set up a mission that calls for the shield. The Bandit Kingdoms had overrun certain areas in the east, and they were, this is, like I said, this is pre From the Ashes. Okay. And there were two things. They had to do something in Fortress Ellendar because I knew the storyline. And these are players, like only one of the persons who was playing that time had played it before. Tim wasn't there. Tim was away at college or away at RT, military, whatever at this point. Tim's not there. So Walt's the only one, and Walt knows how to keep his mouth shut. So I run a battle system fight, part one, and then part two is the adventure part. And the battle system fight, I said, of course, I overdid it. Anna, when you do something for the first time, you want, I'll do multiple armies. It'll be easy to keep. What a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
What an absolute nightmare to keep track of.
20 hours later, you're 6 rounds into combat. So, yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah.
I think we all did when we had stuff like that.
Yeah. And the issues you find out with battle system is it's all morale. It's a lot of morale based. So if you do the wrong thing and your unit breaks, you are screwed. So more than even having half your unit wiped out by like archers or whatever, it's a morale. If your unit breaks, you're just in trouble. So Marco was playing at this time. His character, hey Jose, good to see you.
Hello.
His character had, like he does, as everyone knows. Let me go back here to this map. If we go to, here's the ruins of the Gradivus estate. David got it. This is remember, this is pre From the Ashes. So the Gradivus estate's not destroyed now. There's me. So there it is, way on the eastern front. So David has taken a whole bunch of Shieldlanders, as militia. Well, if you ever saw The Patriot, you know what you know what the British generals thought about militia, right? he's ready. He's ready. He's got them all. He's got the fervor. He's doing all the stuff he can as a paladin, and he tells them to charge onto this group of, I think it was a bunch of hired hobgoblins they had, and charge in. And you've probably seen. Oh, you know what? Let me do that. Oh my gosh, I apologize. It would be helpful if I started the giveaway, Anna.
Yeah, you should have it. Yeah, announce it and
let me do the giveaway here.
Have it. Yep.
Wow, and we're doing two sets of books, everyone, for such a high level hype train. Thank you for doing that. Now it'll work. He charges, and the entire unit fails their morale check, and they all just turn and break. And he runs. It looks like a scene out of Monty Python. He's running forward, charging, gets 50 yards, turns around. His whole unit is running the other way. And this is the problem with battle system. It was hysterical. And that was just it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Now, we also learned in battle system that the halfling skirmish units in here are almost it's almost like a halfling in 5th edition, where if they roll a 1, they can re-roll that 1 on a fumble, right? They can just keep on re-rolling 1s. So they are deadly. They're deadly. You can't see them. You can't detect them. They go in. They shoot. So we had these halfling units assisting. It just wiped out the bandit troops. So they kind of won the fight, even though David's group broke. But it was fun. Part 2 was there's a power inside of Fortress Ellendar that sleeps, and to awaken it, you can control the power behind it, supposedly. What is cool about this is the maps they're done in 80s style. So all right, here's the fortress, multiple levels. It's an 80s styles map. Yeah. There's a good outdoor map though, Anna, for this time frame. I didn't, because this is on 2 pages. I didn't remember. I had to scan all this in. There's no PDF for this. Here's the map of the area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So there's the map of the fortress going up to the hill. So, and this was in the bag. So, yeah. You have. Now, like I said, I wish I had my notes for Dark Tower, but I don't. I have my notes for everything that's really, and remember, this is a high fantasy system. This isn't an old school 1E, 2E, AD&D, so I had to convert everything back in. One of the nastiest creatures ever is in this adventure, and they're called Pinoy Archers.
Mm-hmm.
Pinoy Archers, and I don't know where they have to come from some. I'm thinking Indian, and I'm not talking Asian Indian or Burmese or somewhere. They got to come from legend. Kind of like they remind me of like the Rakshasa.
Mm-hmm.
So here is, well, we'll get to that. I'm bouncing all over the place. Penoi, Pinoy. Penoi. That's my guess. Is it's from some legend of of one of the cultures. So here is all right. This is the spell of Sparrowflight. This is a song that is on a cryptic message that you get at the beginning of this adventure too. It's called the Spell of Sparrowflight, and it goes this way: when thou hast found the name eternal, break asunder these chains that bind the prince by this spell. Thou must listen to the whispers of Ellendar, first to the hisses, and then go in the dark to the deepest winds. Speak, O the demonic, O one whose veins run silver. Take from the Riven Nimloff 6 limbs and crush to powder, and combine this with True One's spell. Thou hast cast the spell, and cast the powder upon the portal. Summon my minions from the pinnacle, and ye be warned of death. So that's kind of like an incantation / spell that you get at the beginning. And you're not sure where to use it. You have to figure that out during the adventure. So, some other things that come out of this that I use. flare arrows are in this that the Pinoy have, where you hit them and they do a light spell. True flight arrows, which are +3 or +4 to hit, with some other special abilities. The Pinoy is a creature that is human in appearance, but it's created in a vat of some sort. It almost sounds like it's an automaton created with like a what's the little thing, homunculus. It almost sounds like a human version, a human homunculus. These things, the Pinoys are. Well, they can see perfectly, no matter how dark it is. They can see in perfect total darkness as well. Almost like a clone. Almost like a clone. They're archers. They're archers with full full Lenla Kafka archer class abilities. Well, that's the way I had them. And the main one is 13th level. And the others are like 5th. So there's one super mega archer up there. His point blank is +16 to hit. I'm sorry, short range. +16 hit, +12 damage with a bow. 3 shots per round. So these things are like dealing death off the top of the tower when you're assaulting this tower. First thing you have to do is figure out how to get in. Second thing you need to do is then solve what this riddle means. And within this adventure, there's a lot of innuendo in it, and the descriptions are the shortest I've ever seen for an adventure, Anna. Like, as you can take a look on this page, I mean, that's it. Like, that's like a room description there, a couple lines here and there. There's a rock staircase going down from the fortress. It takes one turn to so it's kind of devoid on descriptions. Leave it up to you. But the encounters are done. It's not a hack and slash. You got to tactically figure out how to get in here. One thing Anna will not like. Outside, I don't know if you can see it on the map here. Could we see it on the outside map? Let me just see. I don't know if you can even see it on the outside map. Yeah, you can. All right. This black thing right here. It's a magical bombard.
Oh, so it's like a cannon outside that can shoot at you?
Yes! I know you're not a fan of it, but it's magical. So
okay, yeah. that kind of helps.
Yeah, so they have a bombard on you, blasting you, and we're talking about the French bombards during the French and Indian Wars. Have you ever seen them blasting those? It's not like it's a cannon; it's a bombard. It's just raining down, hot molten little pieces of slag all over the place, and that was a neat thing. So that's the technological aspect in the adventure, but it's easy to convert that to a magical thing, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how to get in. The best way to get in is to get up to the top level, kill the Pinoy archers, and get in through the top, because the Pinoy archers are going to. It's nighttime when you're assaulting it, but they can see you, and you can't see them at that range. It's really nasty. I had so much fun when I was a kid playing this, and that's why a synthetic, whatever they are, a magical creation. Almost think of them as an intelligent flesh golem with one purpose in mind, and that is, archery. How's that sound? Does that make sense? Hard to explain if you haven't read the adventure, right? But it's such a neat idea that you need to release the bad thing that's imprisoned in here in this adventure. That's the whole premise, that you have to go in. You have to go in and release a demon. A demon lord. Our demon prince, one step down from a lord. You have to go in and release a demon prince. That's the whole premise behind it. So,
named one?
Well, in this one, it's not. So it's not. So if you're looking at it, it's not one of the. It's not Demogorgon or one. It's a lesser one. So like a name type, it could be a Balrog level. A name type 4, 5, 6. A powerful one. The equivalent of a name Pit Fiend if you're looking at the devil side of things. You have to release that because that creature will deal destruction upon those that on the that are not allied with the releaser, so we'll destroy. I didn't realize this was this special of an occasion.
It is.
Ooh.
Do you have to go somewhere?
No, I'm wearing this for the subject.
That's awesome.
Wow.
All right. I'm trying to explain that the whole premise of Fortress Ellendar is you got to release a demon.
Yes.
I'm
It's like how do you nuke a site to deny it from the enemy?
Exactly.
You free the demon prince that's trapped in it.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for explaining that a little bit.
Sounds like we have to escalate to de-escalate. Yeah.
So, Tim, I remember I ran this with Hawk and Gazumba. I think it was Walt and myself. I don't know who else was playing it. I don't remember, but I know you were DMing it. I'm assuming you had 2 NPCs. We had 6 characters. We probably had Fensick, Leuven, Hawk, Gazumba, and he had Walt had Elena and his dwarf.
That sounds right.
And Schlemmen, I think. Yeah. Hey, Dave. Good to see you. So, explain the first time you ran this for me, if you can. Now that you're here. Oh, you're drinking some wine too. Oh, look at this. He's cultured tonight.
A special event.
Both, to let everyone know, both of these were introduced to me from Tim. Both adventures.
And along with some psychological scarring.
Not as much as some other things. Not in this adventure. Oh.
Not in this adventure as much, yeah.
Not in this adventure. And I have a special surprise for Tim, so stick around for that.
All right.
Dude, you're going to be ecstatic. You're going to be very, very happy. What's up, Mitch? Yes,
pretty
Fancy
high standards. I have pretty high standards for ecstatic. So, you know.
Where did your dad or you get this adventure from anyway? Do you remember? From the Deptford Mall?
That's very likely. I forget the name of the store they had there. There was a store.
It wasn't Allied Hobbies, was it?
They had a lot of Traveler stuff in there too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we're talking 79 now. 79, 80 is the first time. This is because this publication is from 1979. Yeah.
Very likely that's where we got it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit of what happened in your game. Hey, Dragon.
Dude, I just remember having fun with the archers.
Yeah, the pinoys.
And lighting everybody up with that. Because we didn't really have... Did we have the archer rules when we ran it? It was so early.
We did. I think you ran this for me. I believe it's 1983. That's so yes. The answer is yes, we did, and I think you ran it for me first in 83, maybe as early as 82, but that you ran it for me, and I ran it twice. Yeah,
I just remember making it. The archers seemed to be just such a devastating pain because they were so good and
they could see in the dark. The pinoys could see in the dark.
You're in an open road, a winding road that winds around. So, you know, they're shooting at you from the tower. So
plus the bombard is there too. There's
a cannon. Yeah. So I think right set across the bridge or right. It's like in a channeled area. Like
I showed it on the map, Tim. It is on this map.
Straight at it.
Yeah. So it is on this map right there. Right. That's it.
Yeah. If you have to attack a cannon straight on, it's not desirable.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not getting. So let's put it this way. Now these are my copies of these. And Tim, I know you were. I have Fortress Ellendar sealed, Morgard, the other one by him sealed.
That's nice.
And I have Adventures of a High Fantasy. Thank you, Geek Puppet, and this one. Oh, wait till Geek Puppet. Thank you very much for that.
You got covered up by your
Goldchester. More Adventures of High Fantasy. I found these about 15 years ago. They were probably like $10, $15 now, and now they're probably $100. I mean, it's just like anything else. It's ridiculous. Is Tim a working undertaker? Maybe. He was kind of.
No, I just arranged the meeting with the Undertaker.
Yes. So, did you not partake when I ran this either time, if I recall? Did you the first time I ran it and you kept your mouth shut? Not the second.
I think I might have the first time.
Not the second time, not the Shieldlands time where the battle system event took place. No, you were not there for that. I know you were away at college. Okay. So I showed you the map. Here's the roster, original roster. All this, that's Tim's handwriting. So my photocopied thing. Type 6 Balrog. So Afrag the Demon Prince.
Yeah.
Is who you got to release, and yeah. I remember these stats are converted. As you can see, Tim is converting them here. Over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything. It's just like someone asked me this question, Anna. Well, what do you do if you really like a 5e adventure? Do you just not run it? I said, no, I'll convert it right on the spot. I convert a 3e, 4e, 2e other system. It doesn't matter.
You can convert on the fly.
You convert on the fly if you're good with it. Yeah, absolutely.
You know your game. Make the guy the way you want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Converting's not a big deal. It really is not.
No, and also meaning most of the monsters have been in every edition or something very equivalent. Yeah. So you can just look at the monster books for that edition, find the thing, and if not the thing, at least find something similar and use that to inspire you to how to translate the mechanics, so to speak.
Here's our friends, the Penoy Archers and the Penoy Swordsmen. Here, so. Yeah, and notice Tim goes, he doesn't have a regular bow. He needs a +3 longbow.
You're welcome.
And he's 13th level in mine. So, and this is it, Tim. This is why I'm so upset. I found all my notes. So here's all my notes for this adventure. The Penoy Archer. See, there it is.
Aha.
I have it. Have all this, but Dark Tower, it's missing. And it's a shame. So Tim is wearing it. Yes. So you go through this adventure and you need to clear out most of it, because anything inside, if I recall, anything inside is going to die, right? So technically you don't have to, but in order to find, you're not going to get a second opportunity to go back in.
The issue is, once you free him, if you haven't cleared your exit route, the danger is real. You will be killed, because the bad guy is way higher level than when we ran it. He was way overpowered for our levels. Right. And you've got to make sure it's clear, right? You got to make sure there's nobody gets in your way or locks a door on you. Spending 4 rounds opening a door, that'll be it. The demon will catch you.
Right. Exactly. So. And the trick is in this, to do a synopsis, is you have almost like you create a pentagram on the roof, if I recall correctly.
Right.
And what happens is, and spoilers alert, everyone. Okay, so it's a spoiler alert. You're on the roof. These things start approaching you, but they don't look like demons, right? They look like angels, or they look like allies of flying, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
If you step outside of it, then the demon prince is going to nab you. But they end eventually. You got to fight those 3, if I recall. You got to fight the 3 minions of the demon, and because they're the only ones. Because the pentagram is just to stop him. That's your safe zone. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then you fight them, and then once you get rid of them, then you get the hell out of there, and that's how you're successful.
You don't teleport. Someone comes and rescues you and flies you away.
Well,
right?
That's exactly. Yeah, it's been 40 years almost.
Yeah. So but if you don't set the key points of success before you go open the free the demon, you may succeed in keeping the enemy from that castle as your last great feat.
And that is what was so cool about it was, think of the end of the Thor movie where he releases Surtur, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
yeah.
same thing.
That is the same thing. They stole it from Fortress Ellendar.
Yes. So that's how it ends, is that you successfully free this demon and then get the hell out of there, and that demon does your dirty work for you. And that's at least the storyline I had.
The demon is freed, but he's still stuck. He's
stuck within the confines of the keep.
Within that fortress. So when the guys come back from there, because it was most of the garrison is gone, when they come back, then they can't use it anymore.
Right. And then eventually, you know, and you're assumed down the road you deal with it down the, you know, but that's kind of, I think that was also the premise of the Zen. It could have been, but it's a different kind of adventure, and that's what I like about it. You got to battle your way in, and then you got to use your wits once you're inside. The big battle is the initial battle, getting inside. That's the tough battle, is getting inside. And if you've ever heard this story of I turn into a mole and I bury into the ground, we've had that happen. We had that happen by two different people where they didn't want to get shot at, so they just, instead of even doing anything, they just buried into the ground. They turned out, one was a druid, one was a bard. Buried into the ground, dug in, and they didn't do anything. They just hid out until the archers were all dead. And yes, you gotta love that from your fellow players. But that's okay. And not one, but two on two different.
Why didn't they just fly up there and kill the archers for us?
Well, you want to ask Wayne and Bill and the Crazy Bill? Go ahead. So, hey, Bones.
Were they in the same adventure, the same time?
No, it was two separate adventures, and that was the two times I ran it. Yeah.
And you had two people do the same dumb thing?
Exactly, and that's what made it even funnier. So, so Bones, I got great news. I got really great news for you. Courtesy of one of our viewers tonight, I already got 3 special hero points against you guys for Saturday night.
Excellent.
That's okay. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun time. Yes. Yes, I do. Mind games. All right. So combined it in once again. We did it in the Shieldlands. Out of the way. I don't even know if From the Ashes is coming out at this time. I have no idea. That it's coming out. You know, this was just where we always placed it on the map back in the day, and it's out there near White Plume Mountain, which we thought was cool. Hey, this isn't going to affect anything. So we placed all this because we had David's estate out here. We had, you know, the Gradavis estate. I told the story about David's unit of militia all breaking on him, Tim. I told that story, which is really hysterical. You know, so, and that's where we set it. And Fortress Ellendar is there to this day. And who knows, maybe I'll run that one day as a special event on a live stream. I've been thinking about doing more and more of these classic adventures and doing bits and pieces of them for some people in the community. I think that'd be cool. Yes, the Lonely White Plume Mountain. This is a wonderful area. You got the plague fields. This doesn't even exist, right, Anna? This doesn't exist till From the Ashes. Plague fields.
Plague field, exactly. I think it's From the Ashes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, definitely. So, Anna, have you ever had an adventure where you had to free a vile, evil creature to be successful?
And I was thinking, no, I don't think I've done it that twisted. In my current adventure, they kind of, sort of have to cooperate with a very, very vile creature named Warduk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are temporarily, at least for the moment, on the same side.
Well,
they have to kind of and Warduk is one of these iconic evil dudes. I would say that because he's more like just a generic stereotype to begin with. I'm going to write up more the background and stuff for him. But he's one of the NPCs they have to kind of cooperate with, and right at the moment they are actually having the same enemy.
Absolutely, Lando. It's another classic.
Yeah.
So I want to look at something here. Bear with me for 30 seconds here. Let's see what it says on the back of this one. On the back of Morgard. I haven't opened it. Driven into unknown dangers, the players must search for a legendary axe and shield that hold the key to their freedom. On sacred grounds and against deadly enemies, they will have to use their greatest magic to win both safety and sweet reward. There you go. Oh, that sounds pretty interesting. I may
Big giant devil. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you made him a Death Knight on the roll later. Well, if you had seen, Bill we got a Warduke figure from the gentleman who I bought the Dragon Turtle from that Bill still hasn't done. It's so huge. It's like this big, right? And he painted up Warduke, and we showed it the other night. It's a really nice figure. Very, very nicely done. So we actually have a painted Warduke now. He can't sell them because of copyright. But so more guards in here. There's a couple other adventures in these other books. So note that this is on my. Why is this on my wall of fame? You say. Well, it's so memorable when I was a kid. It's just memorable.
But the idea of having to free something like that's a cool kind of twist to the story. That's
yeah, isn't it?
I like ideas like that. It are great.
It shows a level of desperation. And then whenever you deny the enemy a fortress that used to be yours, the enemy, when you deny them, then they don't get the logistic support from it.
Thank you, Patrick.
All the advantages of having a fortified point from which to operate from is denied them. Now they're out in the open like you are. So makes sense.
Yeah, and also if the enemy has barricaded themselves in your fortress, then if you want it back, you have to either kill it, at least you have to go in and confront it. Otherwise, you don't get it back. So yeah,
right, that's true. He must be in desperate situation.
Lee, that's very cool though. Doing evil thing. This is not really an evil act in this case, and we rarely played evil characters. In fact, in Tim's game, we played evil characters once in his city-state, and then he took them, and 200 years later, or whatever the time frame was, he used them against us. One of my own, Lord Gru.
I made their evil characters the arch villains.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. So that's the first one, Fortress Ellendar. If you can get a hold of it, best bet I'd say is eBay. Also, I shared with you Jeffrey Dillo's website. I can always relink that, but like I said, there's no need for me to open this one at all. It was a really fun time. This adventure is not. You can blow this out in 8 to 12 hours, right? Probably. This is like one of those. We start playing after 4 o'clock, and we finish, and the sun's coming up, right? One of those kinds, Yeah, this was a classic. We're up all night, friends playing adventure, and that's what's cool about that too. So if you have a long, or I'd say 3-4 hour sessions. If I were to live stream this, I think it would take me 3 sessions. But I think that would break up the tension of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be a good one to stream or not, but
no, I'm definitely gonna run that for my son's group.
Oh yeah.
See how I would run it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would run it a little differently too. That's a good point. That's a real good point. All right.
I think it would be worse. It would be harder.
That's a great point. I think so. I think you're correct. So, but note, there are items in here that you'll go, wow, that's a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
The Prometheus clay, and which we had abuse with that. We had to undo that abuse because Walt's character always made an Arumvarax with it. I'm like, we decided, would Prometheus know what an Arumvarax is? So we
Arumvarax is an alien creature from Barrier Peaks. So
yeah, true. So we decided it had to be a naturally occurring, like a grizzly bear, but the clay could turn into a creature, and then when it died, it returned to clay. The Shield of Prey, and you've seen this. I've shown this. It's a shield, and it has bird talons coming out of the shield that actually try and grab on when you're fighting. And it's actually a +0 shield, I believe, in here, but gives you +3 to hit with it because it's trying to grab your opponent. I think that's really the coolest of items. Book of Rewards, Crown of Bad Fortune. That's bad. Salva Phoebus. That's like a heal spell. from Phoebus. Now, I don't know if they got that from Phoebus from if that's something from Greek mythology or if they got that name
I
from.
think it's Greek.
It's Greek.
Isn't that another name? Like related to
No one can
Apollo?
figure out where Pinoy comes from. Do you have any idea, Tim? And then we'll move on.
No, but I bet it's a Greek word.
You think so? Yeah, a lot of stuff in there is Greek.
The ending.
Okay. Yeah, very, very possibly. All right. Dark Tower. Pinoy is Asian. It's Penoi though.
Yeah.
It's Penoi, like Penwa. Maybe we're saying it wrong. So we're not sure if it's coming from another place. Like Fortress Ellendar, I thought I had my notes on this and I couldn't find them. But here's what I found. I already showed this. The map of Alhaster, which I didn't know I had from, I guess, from Age of Worms in the dungeons. Found that. Found all 4 of the maps from the dungeon magazines back then that I didn't know where I misplaced them, right? All 4 pieces. I knew I had them somewhere. I found all those. Okay. I found that. It gets better.
Have we got to the ecstatic part yet?
No, it's coming.
All right.
In this folder, missing for years, my original adventure, There Are Many Unpleasant Ways to Die. Gets better. In the same,
are many unpleasant ways to die.
There are. One of the best adventures I've ever written in my life. Okay. Yes. Also, my ode to Tim's adventure, the Wizard Stidge original adventure, in my writing, this I found too. Okay, there's another one. A classic adventure. All right, found that. Found, dated November 19th, 1996 to March 9th, 1997, in dot matrix printer from Tim. Dear Jay, this is the letter I spoke to you about on the telephone. I have a few more ideas that will no doubt think are weird. Imagine that, Tim. This is Tim's writing to me. But I guess you should expect that from me. Some of these comments are outdated, but most are still good. This is the question of Skeeve and Valencia's children. Valencia Page, Lord Page's ex-wife that he absconded with. Also, Highport. Ski would like to get Hib a little more action and chat with him at least every other day. The goal is to get him from getting drunk. So this is the details on Tim's Thieves Guild in Highport with Skeeve. Found that. I did not even.
Man, I need a scan of that. I'm sure I don't.
I didn't even know that this existed. Found this.
Oh, you never read my letter?
I read it, but I forgot about it.
That's awesome.
Found this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it gets better.
I can almost remember writing that.
Yeah. I was
only reading it. I'm like, that totally sounds like me.
Are you ready for the grand penultimate find?
Uh-oh. Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
I found this folder. Are you ready for this, everyone? Some of you, this is going to mean anything to. It's going to mean a lot to him. I found this folder. Inside it, it's your original adventure in your handwriting and your original maps, your original Wizard of Id.
Oh, there.
It's been missing for 20 years.
Yes.
This is your.
I must have given it to you because you were going to make the stitch, maybe.
No. I did done. I was going to run this, and then I ran a little bit of it, and then we did. So this goes back to you. This is your original Wizard of Id. Everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wizard of Id.
The Wizard of Id adventure that Stitch is based on. Yeah, isn't that unbelievable? I found all this shit, but I couldn't find my notes. Yes.
The origin and Ichabod.
Poo Poo Kaka and Ichabod come from this adventure.
Oh.
Yeah, they do. This is
awesome.
Hawk and Gazumba, Fensig and Leuven ran this adventure. Yep. And if you scroll down on our front page here. On Twitch, if you scroll down a little bit and it goes, there's a panel. Who is Lord Gazumba? Scroll down here and it says, it says here, went on a series of fantastic adventures in their youth, including the wonderful Wizard of Id and the best Judges Guild module of all time, Dark Tower. It says it right here on the panel here on Twitch, on the Twitch front page. Just note, this is why I'm talking about all this. All right, Tim. So when next time I see you, you're getting this because it's yours. You did it. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem. I thought you'd like that. So I found all this.
I haven't been able to find it, obviously.
Yes, I found all this, but no. And I know I had seen it recently. All right, enough of that. Enough of it.
Everything but what you were looking for.
Everything but what I was looking for. I read every adventure I've ever written. Yeah, exactly, Amy. I just it's crazy. I don't throw anything out, so yeah. You have to, Amy. You have to run through memory lane. But the Wizard of Id is like Tim's. It is so memorable.
That
tell them
emotional shock. That created some psychological.
Tell them the end of the fight with the Wizard of Id himself on the very bottom level. What he is. It's Fensick, Luven, Hawk, and Gazzumba.
Wizard of Id was Emrakul the Chaotic is my version, right?
Yeah, he was kind of a Emrakul the Chaotic, but you called him Wizard.
Like he was my inspiration.
Yeah.
And he was insane and 30th level. So I would roll randomly every round for what spell he cast.
Right.
And he ended up putting up a wall of force in front of him that I think he could cast through. So there's a wall of force and everyone's lined up trying to do something. And you know, some spells are innocuous, some spells aren't. He had a lot of bad ones. And then
he randomly rolled a delayed blast fireball, if I recall.
Yeah, that was probably coming. But I remember is Fensig was going to cast Dispel Magic and had an extremely low single-digit percentage chance of doing it.
Yeah.
And in an open roll,
0-2 or something,
it was dispelled. And so everyone's like, charge! They all charge. And Fensig's like, yay! Boom! Fireball goes off.
Yeah.
So he got torched by the fireball.
Yeah, but you dispelled the thing that stopped
the wall of force. Yeah, which was that was an awesome moment.
So those are the memories, and that's what it's great to have them, along with Dark Tower, which once again Gazzumba, Hawk, Fensick, Luven ran this. So Tim, go ahead. He tells it better. How does this adventure start? And then I'll put up while we're doing that where I placed this in my campaign. It's not on the map, and I never asked her to place it. So how does this?
You don't want me to go in the history behind why it's there. You can
do that too.
You can start, well, it's at an ancient battle site, but it's been forgotten in myth. But there's two deities, Set and Mitra, in opposition, and so you can have the party kind of get lost in a desert kind of area, and then they get to this town and they stay overnight, or maybe they're going to escort pilgrims or travel, but it's kind of out of the way. Everyone's style of dress and attire and the armor, it's all kind of old, like vintage old, like 2 centuries old, kind of. It's old. And
they're out of the way. They're in a remote area of so they're in this valley or something, this river valley right here. Kind of like Esmerin. Yeah, kind of like time is stopped here. Yeah.
Right. Everyone there is 300 years old because 300 years before they all got possessed, murdered all their kids, sacrificed them all to Set. And so now they're all fanatical cult Set worshipers, except for 4 people who are trying to blend in. They're stuck there. Because if you start going too far from the village, they start aging dramatically. So they have to stay there or they die. So you got to try to find those 4 crazy cultist fanatical, worshipers of Set. And of course, if you're not paying much attention and you eat your normal food and go to bed, you're going to get drugged.
Right.
So you'll wake up in prison because if you're not onto that, if you're clever enough and you're good, if you end up finding out before they drug you and carry you off, you end up having to kill everybody in the village.
Yeah, this is murder hobering at its best. So Janelle Jackway's, remember, this is all her writing. So yeah, there's a line of Misters the Paladins. Yeah.
So what would you do if you weren't super powerful? You'd drug anyone coming here, and so you can take all their stuff and tie them up and put it in prison, and then start sacrificing. So then you'd have to start the adventure on like the second level of the dungeon, trying to get out of the cells.
Right. This is the prequel to the adventure, by the way. You're not even touching the adventure yet. Not even. This is a mega adventure, and I'm so happy that Goodman's rewriting it.
So there were 2 ancient towers that were, because these deities were fighting each other.
I got a map.
And a fort was built around them, and in some giant cataclysmic battle, it all got buried. Right. So there's the 2 towers. Well, those dungeon levels are what people in the tower start digging at and creating these extra levels. So you can access inside the good and bad tower at the bottom level. So you've got to go all the way down to the 4th level of the dungeon in order to make your way up.
Yes.
Get rid of the evil if you are so inclined.
You have to go but here's the thing. This is this is genius. So you see this right here on level 1? There is a little tiny, if I recall, window. Remember that, Tim, on an angle?
Yeah.
And you can poke your eye in there and you can see the end encounter. You can see the end, right?
I think it's either 1 or 2. There's like an area with a little window. And if you look, you'll see that guy looking out at you. And the thing is, it's like
is it Kona or is it Manahath, the Chosen? It's Kona the Dissenter, isn't it? It's this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is horrific because
it's great foreshadowing.
I don't know if we want to talk about the Sons of Set. Let's save that for a separate.
Right.
But it's got what's really interesting about this is it's got third-party people in there.
Yes, all sorts of crazy stuff.
It's the first adventure I saw where part of one level looks down on the other level.
Yes, that's cool too.
So you can actually, fall or rappel or whatever into another dungeon level, and there's interactions in with the beings down there. If you make too much noise, they're going to know you're there. So
there's a lot of factions going on in here, just like in Temple of Elemental Evil, and there is. So let me take a step back. I'm going to tell you how good this is. This is Dungeon Magazine. Gary Julian, Eric Mona, Monty Cook, Wolfgang Bauer, Chris Pramus, they all took part in this. The 30 greatest adventures of all time. Published adventures of all time. Right? The only one that I recall on this list that is third party is Dark Tower, number 21.
It should be closer to number 1.
Yes. Look, it's even ahead of Shokanth and Tharsden. It is that good. It's genius. This thing, and this is from 1980. This is no problem. This is decades ahead of its time, in my opinion, for the concept of it. The concept of you have to, it almost reminds me of Castle Greyhawk. Anna from Expeditions, where you had to do multiple levels to get somewhere and a goal. The original one, it's just all going in and out, and but there's Expeditions. They had a reason for you to go into each one. This is kind of that feeling to it, and we're talking about, and Janelle does the following too. The maps are those full page maps. So let me pull one up here. Here's dungeon level 1. Just dungeon level 1.
Cool. That's a great looking map.
Yeah. It fills the page.
Yeah.
Imagine me having to put that out on a live stream in Master Maze or whatever. I couldn't do it. It is so we'd have to figure out a different way to do it. There is a ton of stuff that it's just like any adventure. Sometimes you're going, this doesn't make much sense. Well, over hundreds of years, it's awesome. Over hundreds of years, it may not make sense why something is here. There is, and here's dungeon level 2, right? As you can see, they're big rooms, large rooms, and they're the 2 towers. See, there's the temple set in Mitra in both, which I think you have limited access. No, you don't have access to them in either spot there. It's really neat the way it's done. You had to think in 3 dimensions for the first time, which is kind of hard for when you're young to go, oh my gosh, I got to go do this before I can even go into the temple set. Another thing, I think I put these in a page. And this is where I'm really upset that I can't find my notes. Sons of Set, chosen sons. These are the bastard offspring of the evil god Set and various mortals. The resulting creatures become a jumble of divine and mortal attributes, not to mention becoming conglomerations of various human and reptilian features. So you can make these up. There is a chart, and I only did the first page, but there are charts here with special abilities and special, like, you know, like here's a picture of one of them. There's a picture of one of the sons, really three-headed monstrous son of Set. Right.
So two heads were not enough. You needed
a
third. Yep.
You needed a third on that. But they could have multiple heads of different things like Medusa, dragon, hydra, lizard, snakes. You could have all different sorts of glowing eyes, lizard legs, insect eyes. They could really look hideous because they were just very chaotic. So, and I have a whole list of them that are in my game are wandering the dungeon levels that are random encounters, which is neat. There was an interview that said her first Pokemon, this is her first. That's amazing, Doc. So that would be Matt, and I think who knows? That could have been one of the reasons. The one team may have come from that. You never know. But this is just like I could do it with Dora Force. Yeah, same here. I could do it with Section. But Tim, we're talking about the Sons of Set and how I wish that's where I had my notes. Yeah.
Well, you can always drum up some more.
Yeah, that's true. But I had other notes about certain things. Like there are areas that are bizarre. There's a corridor. I think it's level 3. There are 2 doors.
Yes.
And they're arguing with each other. The doors are semi-sentient, and there's a big diamond in the middle of the door.
Not semi-sentient. They're fully sentient.
Fully, okay. And they're trying to get the diamond to their side of the door, and it's just
there's either a diamond or a pile of gold or some treasure between them, equidistant, and they'll try to convince the party to bring it to them because each door has a little pile in front of them, and each of the doors can cast some spells.
It's really crazy.
They can't really kill each other, but they're
yeah. And this is the kind of sub things that go on throughout this adventure that make it like really memorable.
If you're smart, I guess you could do like a David Carradine, Warrior and the Sorceress thing going on.
I'm looking to see what the recommended. All right, so it says here a party of 6 to 10 adventures of levels 7th to 11th. That's not bad. I that sounds about right. Because I'm thinking that if you're starting at 7th, you're going to get 2 levels going through this. It's so long.
My daughter's group, because I was running this, we're in the middle of it with my daughter, whatever. They are lower level,
right?
But there's more of them, and they're a little bit more Monty Hall with magic items because it's my daughter. So
right, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Let me see.
They smeared the village when the village came at them. It was a lot of mass area.
Yeah, and because a lot of the villagers are not very high level. There's a couple in there, like the merchant guy, right? Arrakis or whatever his name is.
Avacris is
Avacris. That's it.
5th or 6th level cleric of Set.
Yeah, and there's a couple other assassins.
He's got a minor Set magic item, a ring, I think, or he's got a significant ring. There's a number of Mitraic artifacts,
right, which you want to find during the adventure too.
And they're linked to a Lion of Mitra, which is kind of like a holy warrior that can be kind of called back to fight for you for a short bit of time.
Yep.
And we didn't even touch about the Heart of Law.
Go for it. Talk. We got a lot. We got plenty of time.
There's hidden in this place because of the cataclysmic significance of the battles. There's an artifact called the Heart of Law. It's like a big gem floating somewhere. It's hard to get to. It's trapped or whatever. There's the Heart of Chaos. And then there's the Heart of Neutrality, right? So
yeah,
each one has things. Like if you get to the room, this is the best part of it. Spoiler alert. When you go in and if you touch it as it's floating like in a beam of light. Like in all the movies, you're like, don't touch that. Something bad's going to happen. If you touch it, and if you see what happens. Like if you're watching, if you fail your save, you see a beautiful blonde lady pick up this and give the character who touched it a kiss on the forehead, right? But if you make your save and see what happens, the gem shrinks down to be like an inch across and then embeds itself in the character's forehead. Right. So the character now exists with the entity of the Heart of Law. So all sorts of great abilities. If they die, they get resurrected. They can call lines of Mitra. They can do healing. They can do a lot of great stuff, but they can never deviate from the pursuit of evil.
Right. Absolutely.
They're very one-minded, right? Well, the Heart of Chaos, I think the lady has, she probably has a goth look about her, and she kisses him on the forehead, or it's a black gem that, and now that person can't do a lot of the good stuff, but they can heal themselves.
Here's what you find on the crest. Here be the Heart of Law. See the map for it to the
by
tower.
Sucking hit points from other people. So people in the radius, it'll suck their hit points to heal the person with the Heart of Chaos. And then the Heart of Neutrality's goal is to destroy those other two.
Right.
And they heal by absorbing the value of gems and gold. So they take treasure.
I think we actually decided it was best for the neutrality one to destroy the others, if I recall. Am I remembering this right?
I don't know, but I know my daughter's character touched the Heart of Law. I know that. So she's very dedicated.
No, David, these are third party. This is Janelle Jackway's first adventure ever. All the artwork she did, Dark Tower by Judges Guild, and we also talked to Fortress Ellendar beforehand. So
now, we didn't talk about Half Ring Hell Eyes, which really introduced. Are we gonna? Is that on the?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. So there's a wizard in there, and this really spun me off in a lot of directions. And I've used this horrible thing, who's magic jarred himself.
Yes.
And he has in cells some idiot people who are beautiful. They're beautiful, but they're idiots. So with Magic Jar, he can leave his body and go in and occupy another person's body. So he'll do this. So he'll occupy the hot dude who basically will then, do whatever they want, whatever he wants to do, or the hot chick or whatever, whatever. Yeah. But he goes around. So you don't know you're meeting, he looks like maybe some barbarian who's a little rough, under the, looks like a prisoner barbarian, but he's really a 13th level wizard who's now going to cast spells at you while he's occupying a human like.
By the way, yeah, the neutral one's called the Mind of Balance.
Mind of Balance, thank you.
Yeah.
Is it the Heart of Chaos as well?
Soul of Chaos. Heart of Law, Soul of Chaos.
Heart of Law, Soul of Chaos.
Yep.
Mind of Balance. That makes sense.
It's a typical good versus evil story. Note that. There's like I said, Janelle did all of the pictures for the items in here, which is really cool. Did a lot of neat things, and hence why it is number 21 on the all-time list. Half Wrong Hell Eyes. Yep.
By the little chapel to Mitra that's on the up on the surface of the village, there's a guy there, but he was going senile, and so suffers dementia. So he doesn't realize he's been there 300 years. And his acolytes are these cultists who just do their job for him as a mockery of him, because they just think it's funny. And but he has some if you play right, then he'll help you a lot.
Right.
Because he's got some things that he can help you with when he's clear.
So, and there's some really cool other creatures in here and names. This is a neat name. Vredini, the Eater of Corpses. Another really cool.
That's one of the sons, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think he's a greater son of Set.
Greater son of Set. Yeah. So, what do you do with this in a Greyhawk campaign? Both of them. This, I know a lot of people go, well, I'm gonna run the this, then I'm going to run the G series, or then I may run the A series, or okay. But we had already done those, right? we had already done that at least once, running D1 through 3 with the G series before it and Q1. Yeah, setting whole marshes would be a good place. I agree on that. For some reason, though, I put it in an out of the way place, and if I recall, it was up here, Grand March, Duchy border. Yeah, up here.
It'd be out of the way.
Yeah, out of the way is where I placed it in my Sheldamar area, but I placed it somewhere that, well, this is like this River Valley may not have been there, but I said it's in like an area that there's not on a trade path. Why would anyone need to go there?
It is on the map. There is a place called the Dark Tower near Haradra up in the Lort Mills.
Oh, really?
Yep, and I need to replace it, I think, because it's way up in the high, but it needs to go into a lower valley.
I'm looking here. Oh, I see this. Yeah, but is that what that is, or is that something else?
It's a Dark Tower. I don't think it's
that Dark Tower.
Maybe meant for that module, but it's mentioned back in the story. So yeah. But I should probably put it a little bit down in the valley rather than up on the top. For a while, when they say, "Oh, it's up on the hilltop," I realized that no, you don't build cities on the top of mountains that often. The occasional one is unique, but it's like it's hard to do agriculture. It's a chore in medieval times to lift all the food up there. And water. And yeah, exactly, and water and stuff. You have to melt snow maybe, but just get the fuel up there is kind of difficult to get wood to burn and stuff like that. And yeah, even without thinking about oxygen deprivation and stuff like that, if you run with normal physics. So the occasional city on the top of a mountain, but they should be maybe run from clerics who can create food and water and all that stuff, and a magic user who can kind of create his own fires and stuff like that to keep himself warm and stuff. That's cool. But a whole city, I'm
community.
Yeah, I'm kind of questioning it. Yeah, undead is kind of cool. Yeah, so you can definitely have it, but it needs to have a special story to it.
So I think in the one I'm running, she's on a quest for lost scrolls. I have a lot of lost information because she's got some unique character classes I made up. So to advance, she's got to find these scrolls, and so one of the rumors led them to the village of Mistress Fist. I mean, that's how my
I think you can place it wherever you want, but I like it remote, but on a border of some area that actually is traversed regularly. That's why I always liked it in my campaign up here, Grand March, Duchy of Ulick area, but remote, not in the Elven realms, human, and that's why. But it's just
away from traffic.
Away from traffic, because it makes sense there. The human community's been there for a couple, forever, and because it is all humans. So, but hey, you can place it wherever you want. But I think the good thing about this is if you want a mega campaign that's different, and for a lot of people who are doing 5e, and I'm not going to put out there, you can find it, the Goodman Games one's coming out. This, I think it's worth to check it out. It really is. And I'm not pushing it for them because they have no reason to. If you can find the old one, that's great too. I imagine these are $50 to $100 now. Originals on eBay. It doesn't have to be in the greatest condition. Mine's beat up. This is the one that's on my wall of fame. I just pulled it out for the time being. Because I have my one with all the notes in it, the photocopied one, and I can't find it. So I don't think I'll ever rerun it because it's so long. I would rerun Fortress Ellendar before I'd run this. It's just so. I mean, you're talking on and off for my guys who lose their sense about them after 3-4 weeks running in the same adventure. This would take me a year to run, roughly. Roughly about that time.
There's some seriously difficult things in there.
There is, and that's what's so awesome about it is that it's different, but there's no reason you can't throw that into a Greyhawk Flare. I have deities that are not of Greyhawk. Carlos, by the way, has adventures, right, Anna, that has Greek deities in it in Greyhawk.
That might be that's beyond my. I don't know the deep modules in that detail, but
yeah, he just started with a couple adventures. Anyone know the name of it? Where oh, you can buy a visual reprint. That's good. Good to hear. He has an adventure where the Greek gods are kind of are trying to move in on the Greyhawk gods. So, yeah, kind of a neat concept, I think. So just note, oh well, these deities. If Mitra is Set, change them. You can change them too. Set's great though. Set is as evil as it comes. I hate Tharizdun. I like Tharizdun and the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, and we'll talk about that one coming up in a future one. Tharizdun and Shokanth. But I don't like. You know how much I can't stand Return to the Temple of Mental Evil, Anna. Right? I can't. I hate it. Oh, Tharizdun was behind it all. No, it's stupid. You know, Tharizdun is not the be all end all for everyone. How long should TEE take out of curiosity? You mean which part of TEOE? The whole thing from Hamlet to the end, or just
Hamlet? You can run 5 sessions. Yeah, you can run five sessions easy in Hamlet. You can probably run 10 sessions in Hamlet, and then it's a couple of sessions to conquer the moat house, and then you have the Nolb. That's another couple of sessions at least. And then you have the outer temple and just passing the door, going outside the temple. That's a couple of sessions. So then we're talking 10, 12. So yeah,
I'd say
6 months
low
to a
end.
year.
Yeah.
6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Got to remember, you're going to start from first level, and your character's going to be 7th at the end of temple. How long is that going to take in your campaign to get a character to 7th level? Straight through, playing it once a week, every week, right? Because you first of all, you need fillers. We talked about this last week. You can't go from Hamlet right into Nulb. The levels don't work. It's like the Saltmarsh series. It doesn't work.
Oh, you can.
You just have to go and nibble at it and don't attack it.
Fist's the perfect to start at Nulb and go into Nulb in the temple and not.
Well, you have to kind of make more out of the subplots at Nulb at Hamlet, so to speak. You can kind of make you can make more of the subplots in Hamlet. There are some enemy groups and stuff. You can kind of beef them up a little bit and run them longer, and that way you can beef them up and get ready. And then you have the moat house. You can kind of run that enough for them to send them off to Nulb. And there is some miles in between. You can have skirmishes, whatever, and kind of read the story and then weave some encounters and some in between session there with some thugs and bandits or whatever, or spies from the temple and stuff, and then get them ready.
So we have some time, and I'm going to do the other third party one real quick, and that is Harbinger of Darkness on my Wall of Fame. What I like about this, and I'm going to really do this short. There's a necromancer in here, and he's trying to release an evil power onto the world. And look, you're fighting the Undertaker from wrestling. I mean, he looks like him, right? Looks like the Undertaker. There you go. There's some great magic items in here. This is one of the first times. There's some great, unique characters and monsters in here. I think it's a bone golem. There's blood golems, all sorts of things. The caduceus snake, which is a snake that it's like the caduceus snake from the doctor's symbol, and you actually have it in your pocket, and it bites your thigh and it heals you. Right, the power of healing from a snake. It's kind of a neat idea. You have to use Tharizdun carefully. It has to be something innocuous. What seems to exact. I agree 100%. I agree. It took us more than 50 sessions to finish Return. 1.5 years. I didn't realize that Armin that was all Return. I thought it was original. Yeah. So, and this is by Underworld Publishing, I believe. Really hard to find. Yeah, Underworld Publishing, and it's on my Wall of Fame because it was so iconic in our campaign. This also has a chamber that I've told this story 100 times. The other Bill, not Bill and Master Crafter, had the dwarf. What's her name? That I brought back now. That's the love interest of Mike Disney's character, Scarn, right? She threw her dwarven thrower at a purple worm coming up, fumbled. It hit the thing. He rolled 0-1. It cracked and broke his dwarven thrower, and his character, in despair, just dove into the pit head first and killed herself. Yes, Arabella Hotforge. That was her name, and I'm using her now as an NPC because she finally hit the bottom of the pit. Hey, Moonlight, good to see you. Christine Van Patten, good to see you. Hopefully, you're doing really well. That's all. It's great to see you tonight. We're talking some. Will, you can lurk all you want, man. I sent you a message, Will, and I sent everyone else a message too. Here, I'm bouncing around. I'm sorry. I am bouncing too much. Virtual GrowdCon 3, I'm looking for who's going to participate in it first weekend in October. So reach out to me as I start setting up stream schedules and other wonderful things. So you have to stop this necromancer from releasing a horror upon the world. Easy to place. This can go almost anywhere. I, of course, placed it in, I want to say, Keeland. Northern Keeland is where I placed it. And then out of the way, monastery / burial ground area, where there may be one of those, off the beaten path. Back in the day, I did not place everything on the map. I didn't see it necessary to do that back in the day. Because we didn't have Anna. Hey, Anna, edit this for me.
You haven't met me yet, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and that's a great, and maybe I'll talk about that one a little bit more in the future. I may rerun that one down the road sometime, but that's fun too. Really a fun one. So Tim, your thoughts on both these two, Ellendar and Dark Tower?
Run them, or at least read them to figure to help stimulate some deadly things you can do in your other games.
Good point.
They're the reason I wore a jacket and tie is because the Dark Tower adventure is so important. It deserves it.
I appreciate that. It does. It is one of the. It's one of the. Like I said, top. I'm going right to that right now.
True to a lot of Judges Guild, it doesn't have. It has a lot of fluff, but it doesn't have a lot of wordy fluff. If you don't understand, it has a lot of details and things that add little nuances and little funny things in it, and lots of little details in it without taking up a ton of space. They're very space efficient in how they do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
And I think that's one of the marks of their style, frankly. But it's very good. It's one of my favorites.
And one of the last things here about this is the last page 71, the treasure vault. Here's all the prices for other Judges Guild products back in the day. So if you wanted to get Caverns of Thracia, another legendary one, that was $6.50 back in the day. You have an original Caverns of Thracia, don't you, Tim, from Judges Guild?
I don't think so.
The blue cover, yeah, you do. You do.
I do?
Yes, you do. I'm positive you have Thracia. I'm 100% sure you have Thracia.
I'll have to look in the bins.
Yeah,
Yep.
So, thanks for the follow. Yeah,
I know I have it.
What's that?
I have it digital.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
At least two different versions. There's a Die 20 version as well as the original.
Rick, specify what you mean. What would that convert to today? Oh, just buying this adventure, $6.50 in 1980? $30?
Yeah, you get that. There's somewhere you can calculate from a year and then see how much inflation have been since that year. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was Dark Tower back then?
$5.50, and Fortress Ellendar was $5.
Mm-hmm.
$5.50, and it's way better than Caverns of Thracia. I'll tell you that. By huge margin, humongous margin. A margin so big you have to get another sheet of paper. I mean, that would be yeah.
Someone just asked in chat, what is the that's a good question actually. What give me run what's the objective in D&D? And I always say back, what's your objective in your real life? and this may sound corny, but D&D is the following. It's a think of a TV show, whatever one, it doesn't matter. It's a series of adventures. It's a series of episodes weaved into this character, whatever character it is, or a series of characters, or a group of players or friends, all their characters' existence in a campaign setting. They may be successful, they may not be. When the adventure's over, their lives don't end. Does that explain it? It's hard to, right? They go on. It's a fantasy setting. It's an entire world unto itself, if that makes any sense.
So you get to creatively write a story by determining your character's dialogue, right? Like there's a character, you get to determine what the character says, and then you also get to determine what the character tries to do.
Yep.
And the dungeon master decides what the world does in response.
Yeah, so each of these would be $25 to $30 if they were today just printed as a single module. The cost of a Carlos module. The cost of, I think it's 26. The cost of my adventure, I'm going to be Casey. The cost of Horror in the Holes by Carlos and myself. Same price, roughly.
Dark Tower is way better.
Nah, don't worry about it. Just note that that's almost impossible to tell you in 5 minutes. It's like it's your best bet. Join the community, hang out, watch, find answers. There's great people all around. That's your best bet on those kind of things. It's almost impossible to take that question, that quickly and really make it. Understand, but it's such. Hey, I've been playing for 42 years. I've known Tim for 42 years. I've known Anna for a long time now. And Anna and I got a project we're working on with Troller Games.
Yep.
But yes, thank you, Varl. That's very kind of you to say. Dark Tower 5e PDF is $7. That's great. Lomas, it is okay if you want to link it. I have no problem with you linking it. That's not a problem. If you want to link that for everyone. All right, here's the 30 greatest D&D adventures of all time. Let's just go through this real quick while we have some time. This is by this group. Now, I think some of this is bullshit. But everyone had to get a game in. Everyone had to get a module in. And I understand that. So, Ghost Tower's 30th. Len's Assassin's Snot is 29th. No. That should be top.
It's a good adventure.
Yeah, it should be top 15.
I wonder how many people watching who have played the adventure have left the character floating in the stream dead, never to return.
Hey, official vote on that. Yes, Gary. There's Gary. Pluffett Spedger. Gary, do me a favor before you know what I'm talking about, if you can, before Patrick gets you, because he's going to get you. He's going to get you again. It is. So note the following. Gary Hooley and Pluffett Smedger did this with Eric Mona, Wolfgang Bauer, Monty Cook. We're all part of this. Okay? So we're going to show some of these. Lost City, good adventure. I've given a couple of them away recently. 28. Salt Marsh, the original, 27th. City of Skulls, 26th. No, 25th. They had to put a Dragonlance DL1. They had to put a Dragonlance in there because there aren't any. So
Dragonlance.
Oh, he got you, Garrett. Yes, thank you, Patrick. Patrick got it. That's awesome. Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, I agree, Amy. See, there's some politics involved here. It's okay though. It's okay. City of the Spider Queen. Who wrote that? I don't even know who. James Wyatt, huh? I don't know about that one. I can't comment on that one. Anna, you know anything about that one?
Nope, not really.
Okay.
Sounds like a bad place to visit, though.
Yeah. 22 and 23. Farsden, Shokanth. You know they're both on my wall of fame. Oh, thanks, Patrick, for that, for being that. So there you go. James Wyatt's cool. Thank you, Mac. I just didn't know. 21 Dark Tower.
Yeah, I don't think I've done. I don't think I've played Thurisden, nor have I run it. although I've read it and been freaked out by it.
Well, Tharsden and Shokanth are going to be you've done Shokanth. Tharsden and Shokanth are going to be the next two I'm going to talk about in this series, but not next week because we got the biggest guest list of all time next Sunday.
All right.
Scourge of the Slave Lords, the A series. Okay. Against the Cult of the Reptile God, Doug Niles. I can buy into that one.
Good.
I just recently ran it. Well, recently, what I mean, within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Tomoa-Khan, another one on my wall of fame.
Yeah.
Good. Difficult.
The introduction of weapon specialization before it ever was a rule.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yep.
That good point. That is a really good point on that, Tim.
Ruins of Undermount.
Ruins of Undermount. Eric Boyd. Eric Boyd, a lot to say about this one. The granddad. This is Ed Greenwood. The granddaddy of all Forgotten Realms adventures. 3 classic dungeon crawl. Ed, so Ed's got one on here. Okay.
It's a ginormous dungeon crawl, right?
Yeah.
It's ginormous, like 5 levels plus more. And
absolutely. Yeah. 16, Isle of Dread. Gary Julian writes, whoa. The first true module to introduce players to a wider world beyond the castle, forest, and cave. Dread tore them from their medieval moorings and sent them careening across the waves to collide with prehistoric lost world. All right, that's really well put, Gary. Also, we have this. I think it's Gary did. The Greyhawk Guide to the Isle of Dread. Very nicely done. So very cool. It was absconded by Greyhawk. It was the next series adventure and put in Greyhawk, which is even more neat. So that's good. All right, let's see what else we got here. Castle Amber, that's X2. Tom Mulvey, I'm not sure if I put that this high, but that's okay. I'd put it 30th, that realm. Tim looks spiffy in honor of Dark Tower. Gary, he decided, yes, he wanted to pay it its due because it's on, it's on the right. Dead Gods.
And opened a bottle of wine on it.
And opened a bottle of wine. Yeah. You ran a box set in the RE4. Oh, cool. Dead Gods. I don't know about it. I hear it's fantastic, though. It's by Monty Cook. I know nothing about it. Planescape. Anna, you know anything about Dead Gods?
No, but it's Planescape. So it's probably good. So everything Planescape, but there are some things in Planescape that the factions and stuff. I like the idea of factions, but the factions are not the ones I would have chosen. But on the other hand, production values and art and stuff in Planescape is just superb. So I think you can't go completely wrong with the Planescape. So yeah.
Yeah. So yes, if you notice my symbol there, is it TF Tashley? The 42 on my logo is we've been playing for 42 years, the campaign. Yeah. So since I was 12, 13 years old, I've been playing.
That's all?
That's it. I've known Tim since 1980. Yep.
And I'm responsible for some of his psychological scarring.
Yes. Oh, you can't show people. So you're in for a treat, everyone. Yes, you're all in for a treat, but unfortunately, he's wrapped it up. Right? Tim's new tongue tool is done for Mike Disney and ready to go.
Yes, right here is the tongue tool for Mike Disney. I've wrapped it in real lambskin. Yes. But I did make a handy dandy reference card to go with it with all its numerous features. So.
Where does the Forge of Fury fit in a Greyhawk? Is this from, this is Richard Baker. Gary, you want to take that one up? The heroes went into abandoned dwarven hold in search of peerless army Smith Durgan and Black. I'd say the Aber Owls or Northern Lort Mills. Because it says about an abandoned dwarven hold. So they're your two options, really, I think.
Not sure what the name the Forge of Fury deserves 12. But
yeah, I don't think it's a 12th either. But that would be my two plays. Yeah, it was generic.
They're going to make more. Is it like a 3rd edition?
That was the beginning of 3rd edition when they had generic adventures.
They're going to plus up, depending on when they made that article, they're going to plus up the more current edition to the top of the list.
Yeah. Number 11, Bruce Cordell's Gates of Firestorm Peak. One of my friend Marco's favorite adventures of all time. Mm-hmm. This is Chris Pramus says the idea here was to do an adventure, then new players option rules. Yep, that was 2nd edition. So this is a fantastic. Patrick's rolling out the gift subs. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you.
8 of Firestone Peak. I'll look into that.
Yeah, Gates of Firestorm Peak is really good.
That's pretty good taste, right?
Yeah, no, this is a good adventure, but it is. You got the box set. The box set's going to cost you 125 minimum. Just like what do you call it? Night Below.
Oh, it's a box set.
It's a box set, yeah.
I just need the digits.
Or a hardback book, one of the two, I forget. Number 10, Return to the Tomb of Horrors. No.
It's a return.
I'd say it's a little too high.
If you've ever run Tomb of Horrors for your grandmother when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And she succeeded.
Yeah.
All right.
The original.
The original.
Oh, I thought it was. It's not a box set or hardback. It did have a lot of maps, though. I thought it was. Yeah. White Plume Mountain 9. Yes. Yes.
That's memorable.
Yes, absolutely.
I was traumatized a little bit when my dad ran that.
Okay. Number 8.
The crab.
I'm gonna swear. Is that okay, everyone? Absolutely not. Return to Temple of Evil. No. Oh my gosh. 7. Keep on the Borderlands. Absolutely. I think it should be higher. Top 5.
Yes.
Desert of Desolation series, the I series. I think it should be a little lower. Good, but it should be a little lower.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in that.
Yeah. Gary, if you watched last week on Hamlet and Temple, I proved how Vampire Thrummel could never exist. I tried. All right, so the I series. Okay. Number 5. Gary's favorite. Expedition to Barrier Peaks. Iconic because it's different. Too high.
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
I love bullets. I love wolves in sheep's clothing. I love Veggie Pygmies. I love Arumviraxes. I love all that stuff.
Blasters, lasers, and grenades.
Yeah. I would say this is a little too high for it, but that's okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Everyone can be wrong.
Everyone can be wrong. Temple of Mental Evil, 4th. Should be higher. Should be 1, 2, or 3. I'll live with 4th.
Oh, wait a minute. If you think about the nodes, maybe 4 is okay.
Maybe 4 is okay if you figure about the Froggemoth, absolutely.
And the fungus. I don't think we needed the fungus, but all right.
Veggie Pygmies are great. They're hysterical.
No. I meant Zugtamoy. I mean, Zugtamoy was like, why don't you just have the evil elder to elemental? But anyway.
What makes certain adventures better, so much better than others? This is over 40 some years, 50 years now at this point. This is these adventures. It just So it's just simple. My wall of fame. We're going to go off a second because it's a great question. What makes
a wine better than other wine?
My wall of fame is different than the top 30 adventures of all time because these are the memories that we still talk about to this day when we were kids that are so vital and important to us. It's like going out to a bar and having a memory about something that happened. That says something about when you're growing up or your existence or
one of the biggest things, and I've had non-gamers watch my dad and I playing when I was younger, and one of the big things you can get is you can build a sense of rapport and memory with friends without actually risking life and limb, for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you do these sort of things, you go through these, fictional ordeals with the adventure, and there's so many moments where the character rolls at 0-2 or fails to roll it and everybody dies. Whatever. It creates these really pivotal memories that are just awesome. So then you never forget them. So that's the best part about these adventures.
Everyone, yes. Everyone, please click on Garrett Pluffett Smedger's Real Wall of Fame, the joke one. Someone asked about the joke wall. There it is. The joke wall is right there. Please check that out. It's hysterical. So that's the answer to the question is, if you notice, there's a lot on here that are not, but Dark Tower is, we'll continue.
Oh, good. They got puppets.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Some have a better story. Exactly. All right. So that's number 4. 3, The original Two More Horrors. One of the toughest adventures of all time. The answer. That's the second
that's the
cover.
original.
That's the second
All right.
cover. Not the.
I
Not the.
don't like that cover. I like the
I don't-
pink one.
I like the pink ones too, the monochrome ones. But they said they'd sell better if they were better covers. I think it's better off. Now the monochromes are worth more. And we have them all.
I will never sell it.
I wouldn't sell it either. Gargoyle number 1, Armin? Yeah, probably. All right, so Tomb of Horrors is number 3. Ravenloft is number 2. I will show where I place Ravenloft and Ravenloft 2 at some point too in Greyhawk because they're on my wall of fame. This is a fantastic.
Ravenloft has some. Yeah, it has some good memories.
Some great memories. Oh, the second time. Keep on, Tim. Tell a story. Come on, what you did to a Xeno. Stand there and stir that pot for me. You don't.
I was thinking about how Galad was super awesome killing Strahd in like 1 round.
Yeah, I know, because you had a Sunblade.
Well, yeah, I fought 2 physical. Anyway, who did I say stir something? They were being a pain in the butt.
Bill Reese's character Xeno was being annoying the whole time.
Keep this thing going. And then we went away, and then he got attacked, right?
Yeah, so he said, you know what? You should watch this guy stir the pot. Something may come out there. We're going to go off and leave you here by yourself.
It was a weird guy in the kitchen stirring the pot. I'm like, keep an eye on this guy.
So eventually I rolled a random encounter of a Banshee, and the Banshee screamed, and he fell to save and died. So, yeah. The fun things we did. Is Strahd truly dead, though? Is anyone dead in any D&D campaign ever? Just ask R.A. Salvatore. Sorry.
Yeah, so you jump in the green.
No one dies.
Jump in the green face devil and jump in there, you die.
Yeah.
In S1.
What adventure Jay had to run that was noted as being terrible? I ran Gargoyle for the fundraiser for our Bad Adventure fundraiser last year. This year.
Wait a minute. Okay, it was a bad adventure, but I have a lot of good memories because I got to help play the bad guys.
Yes, you did.
All their voices, and that was a great fun for me.
This year, Eric Mona wants me. We've decided on it. This year, Eric Mona wants me to run puppets. So that'll probably be the Bad Adventure fundraiser for this year. Look for sometime in August. We're going to do that.
Is it bad though? Really?
This is bad. It was either puppets or child's play, and I think puppets would be easier to run via live stream.
Well, is it really worse than Gargoyles?
I didn't say it was the worst. I said it's a bad adventure fundraiser.
But is it worse than Gargoyles?
I don't think so. We went for the throat. We went for the jugular that last year. We ran Gargoyle, and it was great. I remember what Luke Gagas goes, "That's so effing awful. This adventure."
Yep.
You ran it great, but it's so effing awful.
Oh yeah, but that was very true. That was so true because you ran it really well, and
all the good,
in my opinion, terrible. Yeah.
All the good things about it were the way it was all run and everybody there. That's what
Yep.
It was a fun time. We raised $8,000 too, and that was great too. Number 1, the GDQ series, which is really cheating with a lot of these compilations. It's 7 adventures. It's G1, 2, 3, D1, 2, 3, and Q1 all together, with some changes here and there. But it is, I think that we should do, Gary, a Greyhawk top 30. No compilations together. So A1, 2, 3, 4 are all separate. G1, 2, 3. I think that's the way you should do it. That would be my opinion on doing it. Yeah, some connected material. I agree. So the giant against the Giants is awesome by itself. G1, 2, 3. Remember, it was Jason Zavoda's favorite adventure of all time. G1. That's why it's Hall of the Giant. He did those. So. Thank you.
Did he do some of the other ones too? There was
G4,
G5, G6.
He didn't do them. No, there was a couple other people that did them. I know what you're talking about. I have some of them on PDF actually. At top 50 and add some dungeon adventures as well. Yeah, me. Yeah, Rick, I got no problem with doing it. Maybe we'll get a committee together and do it as a big project for 2023. I think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tim.
I think D3 has a lot of those. Features that remember I mentioned some of the Judges Guild, they do there's tons of little details, but there's not
D3.
It's not overly wordy.
D3
D3
G1
is
through
that.
3.
But D3, Vault of the Drow, is that where it's not overly robust, but there's so many little snippets of details and levels of things that you can make a lot more than just the basic few spots that you go to in the.
Yeah, 50 may be too many. No, but you're right. D3 is the Underdark Dark Elf campaign setting. And I always say this, but between that, Anna, and Menzo Barons and box set, I'll take this all every day. This is what my Dark Elves are, is from that. G1 through 3 is on there, because it's all 3 together. It's awesome. But individually, I don't know. I like G1 out of the 3 of the giant ones. But they're all good. They're all good.
I think there's a little bit more detail in G1.
Yeah. Yeah.
G3 is just so big, each thing though gets a tiny little spot. G2 is just weird with all the ice and all that.
Yeah. So here's the problem. Am I going to, if we do a top 20 or top 30 or top 50 of all time in Greyhawk Avengers, I'm going to be a dick and go, oh, mine has to be in there. I'm not going to do that, right? Because it's not the way it is. But is a Carlos Avenger going to make it or be eligible? We got to be a little careful there too. We don't want, we got to think about this. We got to limit it to a time frame, maybe original content or something. We got to think about that. We don't want to upset people either. We don't want to. So we got to think about how we want to handle that. But I think it would be a great idea. So that's that's Q1. I have all but D2 and D3 on my wall of fame from this, right? I think D2 is terrible. I don't like D2 at all. I don't like the Shrine of Kotoa at all. I just don't like that one. D1's a dungeon
I like
crawl.
the Shrine because of the horror possibilities.
You have to be a good DM to run that.
You could be drowning. I mean, it's a mass melee, and they got some really nasty stuff in there. It's a hack and slash, that one.
Absolutely.
The fish people. Yeah.
Fish people, absolutely. Well, we'll have our own fish people in Altamira.
Yeah, Bleed Ball Pop or whatever her name was. Yeah,
Blibdula Pulp.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Blibdula Pulp.
We'll talk. I think it's a good topic for discussion on Cannon Fire to decide. It would be a good upcoming project.
I didn't like her face or her hands, but her torso was nice.
Yeah, stuff you could get away with back then.
Yeah.
Who told us? Was it Jim Ward that said, "How are you?" Or was it Zeb Cook? One of the two. They go, "How are you putting that penangle in Fiendfall? It's going to scare the crap out of kids with all the the innards coming out of it and stuff." Yeah, it was pretty disturbing back then. All right, I wanted to go through this to show something, and that was to show that this was voted on by some of the best minds of Greyhawk back in 2004. 18 years later, 19 years later, it's not mine. It's not the same as mine. Mine is based on my campaign and and my memories and my experiences. There's no reason you can't do this yourself. And this is one of the great things that I'm so glad I logged, as you can see from this. I'm so happy. There's Wizard Stidge right there. I'm so happy I logged all my adventures. So that now I can go back and go, wow, this is when we did this, what year we did this. Thank you for the follow. Another one. We do have a wall of fame for 4 Dungeon Magazine adventures. We have Sword of Justice. We have Citadel by the Sea. And we have the Twofold Talisman Part 1 and 2. These 2 right here. This is the one with the DV is the arch enemy, which is kind of funny. He has a big black man. He's breathing, right? You remember that one, Tim? The eyes on peppy monks and stuff. Mess with the best, I like the rest jackets.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
my character Amaryllis Slinks got a jacket.
Yep, absolutely. So note, create your own experiences. Greyhawk, and this discussion is going on. There's a poll on Twitter that's driving me crazy. And it's okay. Someone's deciding which is the best campaign setting of all time. I think they're in the quarter or semifinals, and it's Greyhawk against Dragonlance. And Obsidian's on there. Cal staff have all made comments, which is great. I made comments, but a lot of people are like, Greyhawk was never finished. I'm thinking to myself, what the heck does that mean, never finished? It's supposed to be that way.
You mean the world didn't end?
Well, yeah. Right, Anna. Greyhawk is meant to be a hero-based, as Asher puts it. My game's a hero-based setting where where Greyhawk you have the capability of your characters making major change in the setting.
Well, finished as a setting is it's not a book or a movie. A game setting is a place, and it's like saying that planet Earth is finished. Meaning finished, meaning that's kind of when you end it all. But so linguistically, I have a hard time saying, because the game setting is just a place where you put things. So say that Greyhawk is not finished. I don't think a game setting can be finished.
I agree.
If you look,
you can be finished with the game setting, but that's more like your relationship with it that could be ended because you think like, oh, the content is so bad that I'm not interested, or I've got all the experience I want out of it. Now I want to do something else, or something. But yeah.
Or if somebody creates a world that has an adventure path with it, and then that world exists only as you do that adventure path, and then you finish it and you're like, all right, well, that seems to be kind of does everybody else in that world a disservice. It's like, oh, the adventures are done, you're flushed. No, that shouldn't.
But there is something, I'm not want to dismiss it completely just because I don't really understand the use of finished, because there is different, there are game settings that are more polished. I would use that term, meaning there are way more published content that are in easier accessible forms. So if you take like Golarion from Paizo, for instance, use the game setting that is used for the Pathfinder game, that is much more designed from the beginning to fit in one game and one rule set, and has tons of published adventures that are set in the same way, and it's a lot of volume of material, but it's very accessible. Greyhawk has the problem of having published over 4 decades of stuff that in various shapes and forms. Some of it doesn't even have the Greyhawk logo on it. Some of it has prominent Greyhawk logo. The quality vary from abysmal to fantastic. And so there's different authors, the different generations of authors that worked on it, which means that it gets chaotic and it gets sporadic and it gets very different, especially I think for younger people that now new gamers that comes into it, and they are used to these highly polished full color prints of today, and then they have to, I want to find out the roots of Greyhawk and some of these old modules, and they look like museum pieces written on a typewriter in the last millennium, so to speak. And that must be kind of tough at times, and it's a different, and they also, you have to remember, written for different game editions. We have everything. Greyhawk started with OD&D or whatever, whichever version of what you call it back in the early days of the game, almost just after Chainmail, and then all the way up to 5th edition with Saltmarsh. So it spans every edition of the game. And then if you include third party, you can include Pathfinder and a whole bunch of other rule systems on the side as well. And so in that sense, Greyhawk is kind of unfinished because it's kind of chaotic, and it's a very different. Other game systems and settings are published for one rule system by one company over a short period of time. So they have a uniform standard, and you can read the rules are set. So take Dark Sun for an example. It came out, or Al-Qadim and stuff. They came out a few years by one set of authors for one edition, and then there was nothing. But if they come back again in 5th edition now, you start having the same issue. So yeah.
Gary, I can't plan out Return to Altamira. I got to get the original. I got to get the Troller Games box set out first before I do a return.
Well, you can plan a return.
Yes, it's been in the works. Let me tell you, it's going really, really well.
Yeah,
it's going well. I mean, we're getting some stuff accomplished.
What part of Altamira is the Dark Tower in?
It's not in Altamira. There is a Dark Tower in Altamira. There is a no entrance tower that is off the estates, that is fairly large, that is dark, black, with no entrances or out, and all the shadow mages are strangely drawn to it. Note that is part of it. What's
Supposed
going
to be-
on? And they also get that brooch. They find these brooches, with all those gems in it that enhance their Shadow Mage spellcasting. There you go. So that is going on, but it's not the Dark Tower. So it's not from the adventure. So yeah, it wouldn't. Yes. So note the following. We have we went over time, which I don't know how we did, but we did. That was great. Listen to Greyhawk. They go through Greyhawk. Yeah, there's a lot of great things. The content is really good out there now. So I'm gonna hit the Discords one more time. Okay. Also, you can get to Greyhawk Online through their website, their Discord as well. This is a monster week coming up of content. We'll talk about it in a second. The next one we do will either be Shokanth and Tharistan, or I may hit up Ravenloft. We'll see. Or I may hit up the competition ones. Tomb Horrors, Ghost Tower of Inverness, which never made my list, but I'll talk about it as well, and Tomokon. I'm not sure yet, but that's okay because we got something else coming up next Sunday anyway, which is huge. So let's do some shout outs. We'll talk a little bit about what's coming up the week, and then we'll do the giveaways. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages, so I'm multitasking here. Tim, what is going on, man?
Well,
I appreciate the nice dress.
Oh, thank you. Dark Tower deserves it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, this month we had pushed last month into this month, and you yelled at me and told me I had to do a Dravilia City State adventure next.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to do the one on sea. She's not. You're talking about doing a water-based one, and she's going to freak out.
I'm telling you that you're going to do what the Overlord tells you. It's going to be. You never know. It's never just one thing.
Yeah. So do we have rough dates yet?
Oh well, that's what it's going to do. We'll have to explore this month.
Yeah, this month's rough.
If this month is rough, we may have to slide yet again to the right.
Yeah. Well, so maybe when I get back from vacation.
You are taking vacation.
I'm off the entire. Everyone, sorry to tell you, I am off the week of the 19th through the 25th. I am away. So there won't be any streams that week.
That's bullshit.
The last stream we'll have before vacation is the 17th, the Fantasy Mapping Show, Friday night the 17th. Okay, that'll be the last one. And then, because the night before we go away, we fly away. If I stream that 18th, my wife will kick my ass. So
we have the City State coming.
Yep.
Adventure in process, and we have also Underdogs. They're stuck there at that fort on the edge of the
thank you
of the river there, where they uncovered an old hoard of magic and treasure. And then also I have the Dark Hand, because we were looking at originally the June wasn't going to work for Carlos, and I haven't revisited and reached out yet to see how July looks for folks. So that's what I have.
We will get it going though.
Hovering.
Note, Anna did a great job making a split rock on the map. It's awesome looking. I don't know if did you see it?
Yeah, we need to. I need to now. I can even think, Tim, you sent me the best sketches, so now I need to refine it. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really cool looking.
Yeah, but it will be there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I sent her the Greasy Grass River Valley.
Yep.
I like the name of that.
Greasy Grass River Valley. Yeah.
Greasy Grass is actually historical North American. The Cheyenne Indian called it the Greasy Grass because it had a lot of dew on it. So when you walked on it and when horses rode through it, it made everything look greasy and wet because they got wet from the grass.
But they knew what grease was. I mean, they had a term. They had the name for grease.
Yes.
Well, they probably. Yeah, I'm sure they had
animal.
Well, I didn't know if they called it something else besides grease. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the translation is greasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So.
Well, that's the problem in all languages. Is sometimes it's more or less precise when you translate it. So yeah.
Right.
Very, very cool. That's excellent. So we will get that going. Tim, we got to figure out if Tim's going to DM during Virtual GreyhawkCon as well in October. We'll work that out
I am
as well.
going to do that if you let me.
Of course I will.
I plan on doing a reverse dungeon.
Really? Where they're playing the baddies?
Cool.
Wow, that'd be a great one to sign up for.
I'm using a published reverse dungeon.
Oh, no, you're going to use the reverse dungeon?
Because it was massively fun.
Okay. Wow, that'd be great. So there you go.
So we'll see. Maybe
that's awesome. That's great. Fantastic. Tim, thanks as always for coming on and giving us your input. I know your wife's not feeling well, so I really appreciate that.
She's not feeling great, but thank you. But yes, these were too important.
They are, and you showed me both. I played in your game with these both before I even DM'd them, so that was the great thing about them. I was like, these are awesome. So, Anna, what is up?
I just posted like a day ago or maybe two. The latest on my Patreon blog is I posted 2 zip files. It's 3 gigabytes of shield of heraldry, and it's 280 updated and new heraldry. So that is a good. It will be available for everybody in a couple of weeks. That post will be public for everybody in a couple of weeks. Then that's that's the majority of all the heraldry on the map updated to the new kind of textured standard and stuff. So there's probably about 100. I think I have 306. So there will be another 30 or so, and I have a bunch. So there will probably be another 50 added to that before this year's heraldry series is done, so to speak, including some Death Knight heraldry and some other cool stuff coming when it comes to the heraldry. So it's gearing up for the heraldry compendium. The 576 2022 Atlas is gearing up for finalization. Dwayne Costa, who's working on the index, thank you so much, Dwayne. He's starting to get ready for the final bit of that. So probably about 2-3 weeks we can have that one done. So with the index and all that, so you can use it in PDF or JPEG version. 100 pages, I think, will be it is. So that it is coming, and I'm also doing a write-up of Igwil for my campaign. So that was one of the things I'm doing for my mid-level patrons who are interested in Greyhawk. So I'm doing my take on key NPCs for my campaigns. So it's not a major change. It's just here and there, so it fits into my timeline of things. So then it's not. Then you like, again, with all that content, cherry picks the parts that you don't like and skip the ones you don't. But it's also an interesting exercise how you can change and adapt things for your campaign, so to speak. And Igwil was one of these kind of characters that had a cool story, but there was some elements here and there that I wanted to change, primarily motivations and reasons behind things. So you can kind of run it as, oh, this is what really happened, rather than the official story that is what's being told it's happened. So, or you can run it that way if you want to, or you can just take it as an idea. So that is coming, and then there will be well, the work on the 598 map is going, but that's boring as watching paint dry. So it's not that much to say. I'm updating names, I'm redrawing borders and stuff, so it will match the content from the 576 map, just updated to the 598 situation, so to speak. But there are some things that I've noticed that I need to take another look at this, and there's a bunch of notes. I have like 40 notes that I need to go over that people have told me is wrong, and then I even noticed a couple of things that were wrong on the 576 map, which always, it's like any editor. If you edit it and then put it aside 10 days and then read the final and then print it, and when the final print comes, you of course notice things that you should have seen right away. So that's just why we have to make new editions of it every couple of years. So it's coming, but then there will be more write-ups on other things and maps of places. I had a deep dive in settlement design in Delard, and there will be more kind of ideas and things from my Shieldland campaign. there's a whole bunch of there's the Syrian Keep. There will be some old Flan sites. There will be some stuff like that coming to with maps, of course, and some more heraldry coming on that part. But those are the big ones, so to speak. So there's a lot of work to get the 598 map as the biggie, so to speak, but it's kind of fun to do. And I've also figured out a way to do it. I'm going to put a little tutorial on how to take my porta potty scale and put it up into dungeon scale. So you go from 1 pixel per 5 feet to 10 pixels per 5 feet, and you can do it in Photoshop kind of automatically and make it look decent right off the bat.
Nice.
And that was my idea with it all along, so to speak. So you can take a settlement map that is in the porta potty scale, and you can make it useful right in the VTT with a few mouse clicks. So that is one of them. And also people have asked me about the heraldry template. Yes, there will be a heraldry template and with a tutorial on how to make your own versions. There is one caveat with that, and that is that the base image of the shield is clip art, but there will be a link and you can buy it for like $10 or something like that, I think it costs. So I will send a simplified version of the shield in the background that you can use if you don't want to buy the clip art. But if you buy the clip art, you can just insert it into using GIMP or Photoshop into the same template, and then you can just go in and I'll make a video or a write-up or something like that. So that will come when I've done the next 40 or 50 shields. So in a month or so, this summer, there will be a tutorial and a template file and all that, so you can make your own versions of heraldry and stuff. And I will do some live streams and stuff when I show it how it's done, or I will make a YouTube, maybe a live stream, and I can put that on YouTube afterwards as a kind of a final thing on how to do it. And maybe I'll try my best to have some live stream the week when Jay goes on vacation, so we can have a little bit something to look at. Yep. So there might be some Altamira stuff, there'd be 598 mapping, and also we can have Tim's look at Split Rock or something like that.
That'd be cool.
We'll see what we can do, so to speak. But that is definitely a possibility.
Please note that with Alyssa doing more and more Greyhawk work, the Fantasy Mapping Show will have a Greyhawk part of it almost every time.
Yeah.
Now, just because there'll be updates of what's going on. So, and she has some vids. If you're Patreon, she has some vids up on her site.
I haven't seen them yet, but I want to see it because other people doing Greyhawk maps. This is awesome.
Yeah. So we got some really great stuff going. All right, real quick, what's going on this week? 4 streams. Wednesday night, Gods and Powers of the Underdark, Greyhawk Mike's idea. I added powers just so we could throw in some high-level characters into the discussion. There's a lot of gods that we don't use, but there'll be ones we will discuss, and that'll be Wednesday night. So this will be Greyhawk-based Underdark. You're not going to see Artemis and Trary running around in this discussion anywhere. All right, so sorry, I had second bust on Ari Salvatore in 1-2 night. If I say it one more time, it's going to be like Castor. He's going to hear me. So I better be quiet. Yes. So Timmy looks like max headroom. Josh Pop just said. That's funny. How's Alyssa doing? Alyssa's doing great. So that is Wednesday. Thursday, Tim, I think you left right before this happened Thursday night when you were watching. I killed Alan's Barbarian who had 96 hit points with a Phantasmal Killer.
Oh,
you just left when that happened, and I made the Phantasmal Killer an image of a Cataplebis because it says it's a feared. So and all I had to do was attack, and he had 9 intelligence. He rolled and he rolled a 12. So
I wasn't even that mean.
What's so mean about that? It was a guy.
I wasn't that mean. That was mean.
It doesn't matter what the creature is. I just put that up. It looked like a Cataplebis, just because I had the figure and I thought it was perfect. Because it's still the same way an attack goes. That once it attacks you, you need to roll lower. That your number lower on 3 dice 6. He had 9 intelligence. He rolled a 12, died. He was undamaged. He had no damage on him.
But that's way meaner than what I did to you guys. So.
Well, yeah, I guess.
With the Phantasmal Force.
So this is taken right from canon, right from published source, and I've modified it. It's in here. The Helm of Selnor. Vestra is the name of the barbarian princess. She has laid claim that she is Hungred's basically bastard daughter, who is older than Walt's character Arion, the son, and wants him removed because she says she is the heir to the Frost Barbarians.
But does she have any claim? Do they let the female line claim the throne?
That's immaterial in this discussion. She just wants to get rid of Arion, right? And she's brought them here into this location, and we'll see what happens.
She's willing to pay him, right?
Yeah, she's willing to pay him in blood. So I blew my wad though with a lot of stuff I had on the first night. I used my improved invisibility from my illusionist. I used my the magic missile multiple fire spell, Blades of Fury spell. I used my Phantasmal Killer. I really went for it, and I got one out. So she has a better claim if the other claimants are dead. Exactly, Dale. So this is fun.
Now she'll just have to poison the rest of them.
Well, we'll see what happens. I have a feeling it may be difficult to take care of her permanently in this adventure because but I don't think we'll finish. I think it's 2 more weeks. So that's that on Thursday. Saturday night. I've always hit the wrong buttons here. I'm always going to hit the wrong buttons. Yeah. So, now my shout out stopped working. Oh, wrong ones. They're backwards. Sunday night.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. On the shout out list.
This is Saturday, June 11th, right?
Yeah, no, I was talking about in the shout outs that I pressed the buttons on. Slav Squat Squad returns. Utayami cosplay. Brianna DeCoster, she's awesome. Is joining us. She has a full gray elf archer from House Selmalin, a noble house of Selene. I'm not going to tell you more details.
Will she be dressed as that character?
Will she be? She may actually. She cosplays a lot, so she may. I said to her, it's up to her if she wants to do it, and she does a lot of them. So go to her Twitter page under Utayami Cosplay and take a look, and she really does some fantastic things. She's great, and she's really excited about playing Old School. So they do hate arcane casters.
More fodder for the mind game.
Yes, more fodder for the mind games. And then Wednesday night, then Sunday. I don't know if we've had a bigger show on Gabbin ever. Ed Greenwood and Jim Ward and Jeff Grubb linking. Wait, we're waiting. Link what? What do you want me to link, Josh? What's he want me to link? Tell me what you want me to link. Jim, for a Wizards 3 discussion for other Dragon magazines. Oh, you want me to link her Twitter? Oh, jeez. This is what mods are supposed to be doing that shit.
That's what he has you for.
Oh my gosh. His hands are broken. Hopefully it comes up. There it is. I got it. I had to do it on my laptop. Yay, thank you. Thank you, damn weirdo. I just did it to myself. There you go. Fire the mods. So, yeah, check her out. Please give her a follow there. She streams on. She doesn't stream herself, but she does some other. Is on some other channels too. Okay. This I have no. Anna, you and I are going to be hosting this. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you?
Me neither. No. This.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
We're going to have 3.
What? They might start
3 wizards.
What 3 wizards?
They argued about nature of magic and God knows what in those articles.
Yeah, so in Dragon magazine, it's called the Wizard Threes that Ed started, and it's got Mordenkainen, right? Elminster, and from Dalamar, right?
Yeah, and it was old, and they talked about old anecdotes that talked about, they compared things, and it was like, if I remember, I haven't read these articles in over 20 years, so I need to read them again.
It's going to be
3 wizards. What do 3 wizards talk about? Whatever they want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this one may be chaotic. We'll let Jim do whatever he wants to do. Just like Ed and Jeff, they can talk about whatever they want to talk about in this talk. I can't wait. I'll give them some minor direction. I'm assuming Ed's coming with lore. Let them have at it, all of them. These kind of discussions, we'll take some questions. I have a feeling it'll be a fun night. Mm-hmm. It's taken me a year to get this together. So
well, it's about time.
Yes. All right. So just note, because Jeff's done a lot of Dragonlance publications. He was more than willing to fill in for some other people who never got back to me or said no. So just note that Jeff was kind enough to do the Dragonlance part. It'll be fun. And then after that, we'll worry about the week after that, the week after that. All right. Let's do the giveaways. It may be, and I'm excited. I am so excited. It's a great weekend, a great game Saturday, and a great stream on Sunday. A talk stream on Sunday. That would be so much fun. All right, last call. Give you 10 seconds. You get your choice of, and if you already have these, we can give you 2 modules. But I always go, and you'll get the actual one that I'm running. It has one of those adventures in it. Treasures of Greyhawk or The Adventure Begins by Roger Moore. They're your choice of 1. And then I got 4 adventures. I got Quagmire, Veiled Society, one of Tim's favorites, Journey to the Rock, and a What Evil Lurks. All good. Okay. I think you're in there, Sparky. And then we're going to raid into Bones. It's Bones' turn. Remember, I did not stream last Sunday. We streamed on Monday instead. So here we go. Boom. Boom. Myomorph.
Captain Myomorph.
And Amy Crittenden, Thessalonian. There you go. Myomorph, and I have multiples of these. So if you both pick the same one of these, it's no big deal. So Myomorph and Thessalonian. Did either of them say, "Yay, I'm here"? Amy's there. That's good. And Myomorph, good. All right. So you got a treasures, and what about the second one? Gratz. You both can get with me via Whisper. Anna, thanks for hanging in there. I know this was off for you tonight.
Yeah, but it was interesting. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. The other one is the Greyhawk: The Adventure Begins. If you already have it, Amy, I can do a second treasures if you don't have that, or I can do 2 of these 4 as well. Okay, just let me know. Quagmire, Veiled Society, Journey to the Rock, What Evil Lurks. I got 1 or 2 other ones as well. So, but I'll get with you. We can do that on Whisper for both. I think I have your address. Oh, Amy, I may need your new address. I didn't know. I don't know if I sent you anything since we've moved. So, but just let me know. Okay, sounds good. We're gonna raid in the little bones tonight. All right, and she's in part of the Slav Squad. It's their turn. Thank you, Tim, for hanging. Thank you, Anna, for hanging. Thank you, audience, for hanging. Yeah. We had a raid from one. I think we only had a raid from Gargamond, and we appreciate that. But we have well over 100 people with no super major raids, and that means a lot to me and the community. We're still growing. We're still doing the right things. Greyhawk Con, please. The sign-ups start June 30th. Get with me if you have questions, especially if you want to DM. All right. I don't know about streaming, the stream schedule yet. I'll tell you this. Greyhawk Reborn is back with a lot of adventures. Troller Games is going to have way more adventures this year, including at least 2 stream sessions and maybe as 4 tournament play sessions. Okay. And we're going to have a lot of great channels participating, maybe some new ones that we haven't had before that are going to participate. And I'm going to have the grand event will be the next the Grand Joust of Altamira, but it'll be a double elimination session this time around. That way, not one and done like to happen with Tim. Yes. I've invited some special guests already.
But we want the Herald.
Yeah, well, he'll be there too for the Herald.
Oh, good.
But Joustley will return.
So, Amy, give me a second and I'll get that to you. Let me finish up here.
He'll dress up as well.
Yeah, always. Yes. And note, I've asked Todd Stashwick to appear, and he's doing everything he can to make sure he's clear that weekend to play in the joust. So I'm going to ask some other people. So we're going to have some cool names in that. Yeah, it'll be a blast. Awesome. So note that if you're DMing, please get him in, register. It'll still be that $5 just to cover the cost. Register and get them in as early as you can around June 30th, early July, just so I can start planning out stuff. We want to make sure that we're good, and it'll be awesome. Oh, cool, Lando. Thanks. Appreciate it. So, Everyone have a great night. Let's raid into Bones. Please stick around for it. Say hello. Follow her if you haven't. And we'll see you all Wednesday night for kicking off a great week. Tim, Anna, thanks.
Thank you.
Community,
Thank
thanks.
you.
And maybe I hit
guys.
wrong button.
Yep.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
you,
for
Drew.
noticing. I'm spiffy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for all the new subs.
Yep, Tim, now I need to be speaking what game too, or what dress up sometime too. Yep.
Whew. I'm gonna see if I can kill more characters, man. That was so awesome, me killing fantastic.
You gotta hide from that.
Oh yeah. 79, awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you all Wednesday. Have a good week. Oh, it was so great. Actually, absolutely crushing. You know, he's like,
Well placed Phantasmal Killer.
Yeah.